Here we go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, mother. What do you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, everybody. One of our favorite places downtown is the Pivot Bar and Balcony, and we are here with Hurst and Lamontes, and they are mentioned last week. Alex is with us. He is the Lamontes portion of Hurst and Lamontes. He was with us over in Speedway, and we got things going as far as what we were going to do this week. And what we're doing today at Pivot is giving you a chance to win future tickets. This is a future Fever home date against New York coming up in August. Chris Hammer is rocking the table where you can sign up. So you can sign up here. Hurst and Lamontes, by the way, Hurst Lamontes is a sponsor there with the Indiana Fever as we carry the Indiana Fever game. So really it's a perfect merging here as we get set for the Fever in Portland coming up later on tonight. And I wanted to remind you on your way to the game, which I'm assuming a lot of you are, this is the third of 4 straight inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. If you're on your way, this is the place. Look at Alex is in the house right here. We'll have to set the stage with Alex coming up in just a minute. But no, this is always a great place to hang out and pregame because it is, as I mentioned to Jake during our crossover a moment ago, it's like 75 steps and you get into the field house and you're good to go. So that is where we are now. I will say normally we are on the balcony part. One of the love affairs that we have with this show being here at Pivot is being on the balcony. But Mother Nature kind of pulled the rug out from under us a little bit today with that. And believe me, I understand you kind of take one for the proverbial team today in preparation for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You understand that. But I will say this, man. Mother Nature, weather can get up off of us anytime now because I think we're all a little sick of what we've been dealing with. Upwards of 2.5, 3 inches of rain throughout the area in different places. There's more flash flooding going on. It is all problematic. Dry it out, warm it up, and let's get to the weekend. I think that's all that we're looking for right here. But really, it starts on this Wednesday. And again, as I mentioned, the third of 4 straight is going on at Gainbridge Fieldhouse with the Fever and Portland coming up a little bit later on tonight. And with that, we have an absolute loaded show for you, too. A couple of former winners, a couple of former champions of the Indianapolis 500 will be on the show. Will Power is going to join us. He of Andretti Global at the bottom of the hour. He, of course, a former champion of the greatest spectacle in racing. Will Power joins us coming up a little bit later on, we believe at the bottom of the hour. And he's with a team that is in search for a great deal of speed. The 2018 500 champ will join us coming up. That's Will Power of Andretti Global. That is at the bottom of the hour. And yet another former champion joins us, Ryan Hunter-Ray of a look at his resume, and as Jake had mentioned, now driving with Dreyer and Reinbold, but had just an incredible chance to win this a year ago and saw that kind of fade away. He has won it before. He is going to join us coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. And in between that, Kevin Bowen, per usual. I know Tony East is going to be on here a little bit later on. And we've got James Boyd, who I saw last night from the Fan Morning Show, who's going to be covering this game later on tonight. James is going to join us coming up a little bit later, too. So, yeah, we are loaded up and good to go with a lot of stuff over the course of the afternoon. But I want to make sure you guys are motivated to get here with us and sign up for your chance to win those tickets. And those are center court tickets coming up for an August encounter with the New York Liberty at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That is the matchup. We're also going to be talking about, and a shout out to my good friend Chris Melby, who sent this a little bit earlier too. We'll talk about the Fever Fund. Alex will join us coming up a little bit later too. A lot of really good things a little bit later on at the Pivot Bar and Balcony on this Wednesday. A precursor, if you will, not just for the game later on tonight, but for the remainder of the weekend as we get set on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. I know, and I've told you this, there's nothing you can do about it. Not a damn thing you can do about it, but it doesn't make you at times any less frustrated with it. Hopefully this type of stuff clears out and we get an awesome Friday, because Friday is going to be busy. 10 until noon with me and Hammer and Nigel. It's the first time that our two shows have merged for 2 hours on three signals, 93.5, 107.5, The Fan, and 93 WIBC. That is coming up on Friday, 10 until noon. And the whole focus, I was talking to him a little bit earlier today. The whole focus was to get us together and kind of do the party thing like you guys do with me after 3 o'clock in Pagoda Plaza. That's what it was all about. So with weather being an issue and the backup plan being in the media center, nothing against the media members and the media center at IMS, but that's way too damn geeky for me. I'm not down with that. I got to be out there with you guys, and I know Hammer and Nigel wants to be out there with you guys. So that is the crossing of our fingers and the hoping that everything comes together and we can be out there, at least from 10 until noon. And then obviously you have all the fan shows leading up until that, the Fan Morning Show. You have Query and Company from noon until 3, and then I'll come out there from 3 until 6 and do the normal thing in Pagoda Plaza. We have a long-standing history of being able to throw tremendous parties together out there. So that is what the hope is going to be, that we shake that loose and all is going to be good. That is how the week is going to look. That's how Friday is going to look. You know, coming up on Saturday, the All Request Saturday Night JMV Takeover. Bronze Fun Time campers will be out there. They're going to drop the camper, I think, on Saturday morning in Lot 6A. And the best part about this is the weather is looking pretty good for that as well. And you guys can just come out and join. You don't need a wristband, or you don't have to show any ID as far as I'm concerned, right? You're good with chairs and with blankets and with coolers and to hang out with us with the Bronze Fun Time camper and the All Request Saturday Night JMV Takeover coming up on Saturday evening. That's 6 until midnight. And then obviously all hands on deck for us coming up on race morning in front of the 110, the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500. Got you covered. Me and Tony Katz, and a cast of thousands will begin at 6 a.m. That is 6 until 11. Race day morning, 93 WIBC, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Cannot wait to get fired up and get started with that, and a lot of stuff in between as well. And I know we're still keeping track of what's going on in the NBA with the postseason. And you probably understood one of the things I really like to do is poke major fun at it. Last night was yet another opportunity, and really I was going to win either way. I was going to win if the Knicks faded away and took a beating, as it looked like they were gonna. And I'm a winner if the Cavaliers gagged that thing away and should have fired their coach immediately following that overtime loss. I win either way. And nothing against Kenny Atkinson. In fact, I happen to think Kenny Atkinson is a pretty good coach, but he handled that about as crappily, not even a word, but I'll just make it up, about as crappily as you can handle anything, because you saw where the issue was. And this is not even me being able to make fun of James Harden, wanting to make fun of James Harden, which is routine, and I do dig it. Not even that. But anybody that's ever dribbled a basketball could see the issue out there and why the Knicks were able to come back in the fashion in which they did. And the head coach of the Cavaliers, somebody has got to grab the dude. Somebody's got to put him in a chokehold and say, can you get this guy's ass off the floor, please? We're like 4-on-5 out there. All he's doing is getting in the way, and he's not getting in the way of the Knicks. He's getting in the way of our guys. So I won either way. Now, honestly, I don't feel like a winner because the Knicks did get the win, and everybody can celebrate, and the actors and the comedians and the former players all celebrate as they do courtside. But either way, I was going to be a winner. And ultimately, it was at the hands of the Cavaliers that just truly embarrassed themselves last night. You played that well for so long, and you take halfway through the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, into overtime, to just cast complete and utter embarrassment on yourself. Well done. Well done, Eastern Conference playoffs. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline for the Fan Morning Show, he is a part of that along with James Boyd. It is Kevin Bowen who joins us. Were you a winner either way last night with a meltdown for the Cavaliers, or had the Knicks continued to go as they did slowly down the drain over the course of most of regulation? Did we all come out winners last night?
Yeah, honestly, I was just glad that turned into something of entertainment value there late. But, yeah, I think I'd assume speak for most in the indie market where you rather have the Cavs win than the Knicks. I get some people it might be the lesser of two evils there. But, yeah, that would probably be the only knock from a sports standpoint.
Yeah, I don't like the Cavaliers either. And honestly, if you were going to fire a coach last night, Kenny Atkinson needed to be fired more than Jason Kidd. Truly. That was just not the way to handle that.
Yeah, they can hire that, what was the Russian dude, David Blatt, who made it like, what, barely even made it, I feel like.
You hire anybody, Kev, hire anybody. The way he handled that, he screwed his guys last night, keeping James Harden out there. That was awful. Now, you can say the organization screwed him by acquiring him, and there's a lot to be said about that. It is truthful. But the longer he was out there, that helped, again, it manipulated things to the point to where the Knicks were able to come back in the fashion in which they did. There was so much of that was on the head coach.
Yeah, and I wasn't really following the whole, I love to save my timeouts, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that was, a historic collapse. And, the saving of them, I mean, I get you live a little bit in the challenge era, but still, that didn't really track for me at all. So I don't trust the Knicks. I don't trust the Cavs, obviously. I don't really trust the Knicks to all of a sudden just, step on their throat the rest of the series. But, boy, if you're able to get that one last night, you could be, we obviously saw last year what game ones on the road can mean to the Pacers. And I thought Cleveland had just a golden of an opportunity, played so well. And, it'll be as big of a mental challenge as it will a physical challenge tomorrow night.
Hey, Kev, and I'm not going to blame you for this. I'm going to have James pull you down here for a minute and reset you because your phone sounds equally as bad as how Kenny Atkinson coached last night. So, James, pull him down, and let's see if we can't recalibrate the system so as that sound doesn't suck as much as it did. James, did you say he's good? Are we recalibrated right now? Kev, are you with us again?
Yes. Apologies on that end. How do I sound now?
You sound a little bit better. What the hell were you talking through? A shoebox? What were you doing?
I had the headphones in. I thought that would be better than going old speakerphone, but maybe the old speakerphone's the best way to go.
Yeah, go old school. That's bad, too. When we talk about old school being speakerphone, that just shows how old that I am right there. That's old school right there. Hey, I wanted to switch gears with you anyway because I know you got some Colts stuff going on as well. Anything stand out? And I was with James last night, and James said that Anthony Richardson Sr., he wasn't doing any talking. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did not speak today. We did hear from Travarius Ward, and that's probably, a topic that obviously is not the quarterback, but I'd say it's decently up there. And, he mentioned that he is debating, kind of wearing the Guardian cap this year after coming back from all the concussion issues he had last year, and really pointed to, and I know you know this from your original conversation with him, but, he lost his daughter, I believe she was right around 1 when he lost her back when he was with San Francisco, his final season there, and that played a big reason in him wanting to get a fresh start in free agency last offseason. And I obviously I can't even imagine what that would be like from a personal life standpoint, but he mentioned that not having his family with him, he's got a young son now, and not having him and the rest of his family with him last year, he felt like was, a big problem kind of weighing on him mental health-wise. So he feels like, A, he's going to play this season. B, he's in a much better spot mentally. They are going to come to Indianapolis and be with him throughout the season. And then, again, from a concussion standpoint, we'll see if the Guardian cap or, something like that can help in regards to that. So, I think that was kind of the curious situation with Mooney is, A, would he play, and then B, just kind of hearing him explain, because he's super candid when it comes to all this stuff here. And I think that obviously is a huge storyline because on paper, a Sauce Gardner, Mooney Ward combo that does have the potential to be, a really dynamic, frankly, cornerback room. I can't recall the last time the Colts have had something like that, but obviously Mooney playing 17 games isn't probably the smartest bet to make after last year.
Well, and you have to be dynamic considering what we haven't seen as dynamic up front. And when you face the teams that you face out of the gate in those first 4, that to me is what really stands out, that it's magnified with the quarterbacks and the type of offense that you could ultimately get in those first 4 games. And if you don't have, ever-ready, consistent pass rushing, especially with the pressure coming off the edge, you have to count on what you can do with playmaking ability in the secondary, and that's exactly how they're going to have to move forward, at least until we see more from up front.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, you are going to have to lean on that group big time, throw in Cam Bynum, with those 2 corners. And I do think, again, you have the ability to potentially really have a strong group, and you're going to get tested right out of the gate in regards to the quarterbacks you see there with Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and C.J. Stroud, and we'll see where Jaden Daniels is at from a health standpoint. But yeah, I think you're going to need it because I don't sleep as well at night thinking about the pass rush as I do the potential, I think, of that secondary. It is kind of crazy to say it about the secondary when you very well could have 2 guys amongst that starting unit that's never played a snap in the NFL in regards to A.J. Halsey at safety and then Justin Wally, taking over for Kenny Moore there in the slot. So I think that's a big storyline for this defense. I think there are questions a little bit in the front, questions at linebacker. I'd say the least amount of questions are probably in the secondary. But, if Gardner and Ward can stay healthy, again, I mean, I can't recall the last time, and I get it's a big if, but I cannot recall the last time the Colts have had a cornerback duo anywhere near that.
That is Kevin Bowen right there from the Fan Morning Show. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We are at the Pivot Bar and Balcony right across from Cambridge Fieldhouse with the Fever. And Portland coming up later on tonight, the 3rd of 4 consecutive at Cambridge Fieldhouse. I did want to kind of wrap things up regarding the Colts for a moment, too, and I was talking to Stephen Holder about this on Monday. Are we expecting at some point a veteran kind of been there and done that, wide receiver, brought into this situation, or do they believe that Westbrook Akine is that person on this roster right now?
Yeah, I think right now it's a by-committee approach, and typically how they operate is they give that a chance. So I would say Westbrook Akine, I would say Ashton Doolin, and they remain very high on Deion Burks. Reggie Wayne spoke today to the media, and, they really feel like they got a steal with Deion Burks there in round 7. So, obviously Tyler Warren's presence will, I think, eat up some targets as well. And, unlike the pass rush, anytime I hear the phrase, by committee, I know how much that disgusts you.
No, I hate committees. Yeah,
you and me both. I could understand, like, Shane Steichen's ability to kind of manufacture up something. I feel more confident in than the pass rush, trying to manufacture up something. I don't think it's a guarantee, but, I actually have a little bit more faith in Steichen doing that than I would do the defensive side of the ball. So, again, that will be a storyline. I do think, depth-wise, I mean, Pearson Downs, you need them to be, as healthy as possible. And that's one thing right now in the spring, they're obviously not getting out Pierce, just to refresh everybody on that. Again, he had that ankle procedure that's taken him off the field for the spring. So these guys are getting great chances. Again, somebody emerging from that group I think will be really, really key.
Hey, Kev, I was talking about this with Jake, and I brought this up. In given the fact we've got the Fever later on tonight against Portland, they're 2-2 on the season, 2 losses inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And, as always, you get especially national yip-yaps that have different agendas and, want to try to grind out exactly their particular opinion in ridiculous terms of Caitlin Clark and this team. Whereas it has been outlined that Stephanie White and the offense and her philosophy is the issue. And, when you make fun of the promos that NBC and Peacock are running and not having Caitlin Clark, can we all understand that has nothing to do with the way this team has started 2-2? It has everything to do with this team not being able to guard you or I. And those are going to be the terms until we see a difference. And I'm assuming that's because it's the start of the season. Okay. But until that defense looks better, and I mean everybody, not just individually, but everybody, you're going to get similar outcomes as we've seen with this team even on the season so far.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the storyline of, are they able to guard anybody? Front court wise, incorporating a couple new players as well alongside of Aaliyah Boston. We brought it up today and we were chatting about it. We saw at times with the Pacers that the best lineup, late in their playoff run is honestly Obi Toppin at the 5. Obviously, Aaliyah Boston's still going to be on the floor, but, do they go to more Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall, kind of in that 3-4 with Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark? Does Raven Johnson, provide anything from a defensive standpoint as a rookie? I haven't really felt much of her impact here. I think early in her WNBA career, I know it's a lot to ask for those W rookies because they are making such a quick transition from college, but yeah, to me, that will be the big storyline in how much we talk about this team making a playoff run, late in the season is can they guard anybody? Because the shootouts are not a given, and they obviously lost one of those games early in the season when it got to the hundreds.
So who you got for the 500 win?
I think I'm going to go Daly. Yeah, I'm going to go Connor Daly. The fact that, he's qualifying definitely the highest that he's been here. I'm sure there's a little sentimental pull from me, but there's no doubting what he's done once the race has started here. Now you put him all the way up there in the middle of row 3, I believe. I will go with Connor Daly to win it.
Oh, well, Connor will be happy for that, just as long as he makes it. Normally, I think Connor's running a little bit behind. Do you think he'll make the race on time? Think he'll get there on time?
Is he stuck in the snake pit with Blake?
Yeah, he's going. Yeah, he'd be out there with Zed, I think, doing something before. He is. I think he is the only driver that actually goes out there. There may be a little bit more focus considering the ride that he had, and I'm not suggesting he's not focused when he goes out there, but. Yeah, maybe you don't do that. Do something a little bit different considering the type of ride he has had so far and what he has shown with results up until this point than go out in the snake pit. But, yeah, if he goes out there, Blake and his buddies, the Roncalli crew will be out there. That's for damn sure.
Well, I chatted with Connor last week, and he seemed quite confident in his race car. So obviously qualified pretty well. Probably maybe wanted a little bit higher up there, but yeah, I think it's more than just the feel good story. I think he has a legit chance to actually win it. Which some years it might be more the sentimental Indiana background of it.
You got it, pal. I appreciate you. Get back to doing what you were doing, and we'll catch up. Hopefully, we're rain free coming up on Friday, right? Rain free.
Rain free. We got 2 big shows leading into noon to 3 that we got to get rain free. So yes, we got a long day. We need all that rain to stay to the south.
Well, I will say this: Mother Nature can blank off because I'm going to be drinking anyway. It doesn't matter. So screw her.
I will be drinking, and I can happily send a middle finger her way if it's necessary.
You got it, buddy. I appreciate you, Kev.
All right, see you, John.
Devin Bowen on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We are here with Hurst and Lamontes, too, the partners. Alex is going to join me again as he did on Friday. We'll explain how you can win tickets to see a future Fever game. That coming up. Will Power is going to join us from Andretti Global on the other side. His feel for it as a former champion and then some. We are at Pivot Bar and Balcony right across Pennsylvania from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. We would love for you to join us. Take your shot at those tickets. These are choice. They are center courts. We'll give those away a little bit later on. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. I want you guys to stay right there. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here for, you got that right, Big Red Liquors. Big Red Liquors, 100-plus locations throughout the state of Indiana. There's one near you. In fact, there is 19 new in and around Indianapolis. The greatest weekend of the year is upon us. We know this to be true. So make sure you make a pit stop at one of the 19, and you're going to find some incredible deals. I promise you some really good track deals for you in whatever you might be looking for. For example, I don't know if you're going to go the beer route, but if you don't, Twisted Tea Variety 12-packs, they're on sale right now. Guinness 8-packs are on sale. How about the Yingling family of 24-pack cans? You can check that out, too. Modelo and Corona and more. It is the pit stop you have to make for the best weekend of the year around here. It's Big Red Liquors, also powering the JMV Takeover Saturday night from Lot 6A outside IMS. It's Big Red Liquors, 100-plus locations, state of Indiana. There's one near you. To find that and the Red Hot deals online, that's BigRedLiquors.com. Hey, John here for Rhino Shield. That's 888 Rhino 41 today to get the ceramic coating built specifically for our climate, which there's a lot going on here, in virtually any color, and never, ever have to paint your house again. You're going to get the warranty, and you're going to get an incredible-looking home. And whether it is residential or commercial, Rhino Shield has you covered. Now, here's your deal. That's 888 Rhino 41. Call the number right now. Mention my name. Say JMV sent me. You're going to get, yes, 15% off the regular price with Rhino Shield today. That's 888-RHINO-41. Make sure you mention my name, Music Mac, and you're going to save with Rhino Shield. Residential or commercial, never paint your house again. It's Rhino Shield.
The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding? You think I'd join this crummy snobatorium? But this whole place sucks. That's right, it sucks.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, we are live at the Pivot Bar and Balcony, one of our favorite places across from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. You got game number 3 of a 4-game homestand with the Fever in Portland later on tonight. I've got tickets to give away. I'll explain the ticket giveaway, not for tonight, but we're talking center court for a future game in August. That is coming up in a second. But, hey, let's hustle up right now. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He is a former 500 champion, and he's a hell of a dude with Andretti Global. Let's welcome on board Will Power again to the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, Will, thank you for taking the time on this afternoon. How you feeling?
Feeling great. Feeling great. Just relaxing, getting ready for the race, all the stuff.
How much downtime do you actually have? And I guess I would kind of consider this downtime yapping with me, but how much downtime do you have when you're waiting for Carb Day and then obviously what takes place this weekend?
Actually, I had a full day off yesterday. It was the first day off since I got here. I had some appearances today, and I have a couple tomorrow, and then obviously you have Carb Day. Then, it's pretty busy from Carb Day on because you have the parade on Saturday and a few sponsor appearances and so on. So it's all good stuff, though. It's all part of the job.
You ever find yourself kind of breaking away and thinking about your ride and the team and trying to find the speed, because so much can happen between what we've witnessed in practice and qualifying, right? And then how you end up performing on race day, because you've been down this path before. How much do you actually find yourself thinking about what might be coming up on Sunday? Does that dominate your thoughts at all, or do you break away from it?
It does. You definitely are in contact with your engineer and the team and discussing ideas and discussing the weather and, how much downforce you want to run, which is grip. You add downforce on, it just adds grip depending on how hot it is and so on. So it's an ongoing thing. The guys are obviously always working on the car. The cars are split apart right now. So a lot of work being done. It's crazy how much is involved in running a race car. It would just blow your mind, like how much it requires of people power and budget and so on.
Well, and you think about that, and then you also just think about in general, because you're a former champion here, and nobody would know this more than you would as a veteran driver, just how you could have the perfect car, but the dynamic of the weather and that track can break you away, can take you away from that. So really, you're almost at the mercy of that place come Sunday, regardless of how you feel about your car.
That is true. You do have adjustments within the car, and the team can add change the front wing angle, which adds, load or takes load off the front axle. But, yes, a very temperamental place for wind, weather, temperature, track temperature. Obviously, strategy plays a part in it. So it's a difficult race to win, simply. You walk that tightrope, right? Like, it's always, the car's always on edge and you're at tremendous speed. So if you can get yourself in that position at the end of the race to fight it out, that's, it's a big deal. And that's where I hope to be on Sunday.
It's Andretti Global's Will Power on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. And then you guys are searching for speed right now. What are you guys thinking about what's been missing that can be added either on Carb Day Friday to feel better about it or certainly on race day Sunday itself?
I would say that our race pace is our strength. Qualifying, certainly not. Obviously, a lot of homework to do in the off-season and development. We did a lot of work leading up to it. It's very short. By the time I joined the team, January 1st to now is a short amount of time when you're talking about building an Indy 500 car. So, believe me, we're all kind of scratching our heads after qualifying, like where was the speed? So that's for another time. But pace in race trim is really good. Getting through traffic, the car feels good, when you're sitting in all that dirty air, which means you're behind a bunch of cars and there's a ton of turbulence, which makes the car feel like you're on an aeroplane when it has turbulence. So it's anyone can win this race, believe me. It doesn't matter where you start. Anyone can win this race. I mean, you always got to keep that in mind, never get desperate, and just try execute a really perfect day.
Is that something you've learned over the years? Because how you just described this is, to me, a relative amount of patience in the process of what you're doing right here. Is that patience come with just time and time again and with age of going through this? Not even so much in 2018 and winning at Will, but just in terms of dealing with this, staying patient, and then, understanding the moment where you can go for it or the moment where you kind of hold off a little bit. Does that only come with experience, not just here, but as a driver in general?
It definitely comes with experience. I mean, there's so many times you finished a race or not finished a race, let's say, or had a bad result. And it's just if I'd just been a bit patient. And that's a balancing act, like how far do you push it and at what point? And that's the real complexity of racing. It's easy to throw it all the way early in the race on an unnecessary move. But it's also easy to give up a win trying to be too conservative and you never make it to the front. So you've got to understand that balance. You've got to understand what your car will take, because sometimes you simply just don't have the car for it. And then maybe you throw an off strategy move. You just say, look, we're gonna take fuel and tires here while everyone stays out, and it plays out for you. So many scenarios. It's obviously very complex, and you've just got to keep your head in the game. And yes, be patient for sure. You got to, like Rick Mears would always say, spend the first half getting to the second half.
That's Will Power with us from Andretti Global. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So just keeping your car and, off the wall or out of an incident on Carb Day, that final practice, that's number one on the list. But what do you look for? Or in your case, how would you know that you have a successful Carb Day and how you feel about this ride going into the 110th on Sunday, coming off of that final practice?
Well, it depends. It looks like it might rain, right, at noon. So chances are they're going to move that practice back, and it's going to be really cool. And the car will behave completely different when it's that cool compared to what it might be on race day. So I think Carb Day will be more of a systems check. It will be more of just like, look, it's not time for a science experiment here and completely changing the car. Let's just go through the processes, do a few pit stops, do a couple of in and outs to understand how does it break down when you go on 230 down to, 60 on pit lane. I think that's the smarter way. It's like you say, you don't want to end up, having an incident and then, losing all your confidence. The guys have to, rebuild the car, and then it's not the same, and so on and so on. So it's just, it's a tough place, man. That's all I'll say. This place, of all the tracks I've raced over the years, is the most confusing and tough place you can race at. It can be so satisfying, but then it can be also so brutally harsh. So, and that's why it's so exciting when you win. It's such a big deal when you win it.
Hey, how cool is it to have such a close resource in Mario Andretti around you and this particular race team? How important, how cool, I mean, just all of it. It just seems like it is such an incredible resource to have that is so multi-generational for a lot of reasons. How big is that for you with this team?
I mean, Mario is just, the epitome of a true racer. And it's really cool when he's on your stand, he's listening into the debriefs and the stories he can tell you. I mean, he's been through some serious eras of racing, including when he was racing Formula One. So, I mean, honestly, it's a real honor to drive for the name Andretti. I was, such a big fan of Mario and Michael growing up. So I feel privileged to be around him. Obviously, he has a tremendous amount of knowledge, so you can really bounce anything off him. And, yes, he is a great resource for the team.
Oh, that's really cool. Will Power with us. He is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Andretti Global getting set for Carb Day, whenever Carb Day is going to be. And then, obviously, the 110th. Do you have a lot more of these in you, do you feel? Have you ever thought about how this thing goes and how much more time you have? Is that a fair question to ask you right now, or is that one you'd rather be lobbed or have one lobbed at you like that later?
I still feel like I'm in my 20s. Me
too.
I'm still very fit and still fast. I mean, I wouldn't have continued if I didn't think that. I wouldn't have continued. I think if you put an actual date on your, retirement, it just is no good. So as long as you're doing well, keep at it. And you want that pressure, right? That you want to keep getting re-signed. You want that pressure there all the time. That subconscious pressure, it extracts the most out of you. So there's definitely no date on it, and I'm still fit as ever and still racing well. So that's where it sits right now.
You get a competition fix that it would be hard on any level. As maybe a team owner you could, but as a driver it's just drastically different. You get that competition fix that I would imagine with somebody like you that's ultra competitive would be very difficult to be without.
Yes, that's, at the end of the day, once I've been doing this for a decade or so, I just came to the realization it wasn't the cool cars or the fast cars I was driving. It was actually the element of competition that I loved so much. The fact that you come in and look at a timing board and go, where do I actually stack up here? I think that's just what drives most of humanity. Most of any technology or anything you've ever seen, that humans have created is through competition. So competition is so ingrained in us that that will be very missed. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it once I stop, but I love competing.
So Will Power right there. Well, keep on keeping on, man. The best of luck to you coming up on Sunday with Andretti Global. And we'll check back in. I mean, hell, who knows? Maybe you go for another one. We check back in next week with the champion. But you're always a great conversation, and we love having you on. Thanks for taking the time today.
No, great stuff. Thanks for having me on. Enjoy your afternoon.
You too. Will Power right there on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. That was really good. And he's always really good. Pivot Bar and Balcony with Hurst and Lamontes right now. We're going to get Alex on the show a little bit later on and tell you exactly how you can win these Fever tickets. You got to get signed up for them, but you got to get right here. I see Mac is in the place right now. I saw Corey a little bit earlier. And we're officially opening up here at 4. Actually, I think we're open up right now anyway, but they officially open up at 4. This is your destination before the Fever game, which is right across Pennsylvania inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse right here. Now, we're on the inside. because the weather outdoors wasn't going to permit us to be on the balcony, which we absolutely love, one of my favorite places in Indy, but we're close enough. Doors are open. You can join us. Pivot Bar and Balcony Fever tickets to give away. I've got more details on that, and yet another former Indy 500 champion at the top of the hour. That would be Ryan Hunter-Ray. Tony East, James Boyd, and a lot more. Do not go anywhere. The AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. Hang right in there with us. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here for the District Tap. You got a couple of locations not too far from here. That's downtown. And then, of course, Northsiders. If you don't want to make the trek downtown, you know that you have everything you need. Happy hour specials, TVs everywhere, the damn good food, and the event space. You've got that. And the catering. I should magnify the catering that they offer because a lot of you are going through graduation right now. You're having graduation parties. My man Michael has great food. Great food that can be catered to your party, your event with the District Tap. 2 locations, downtown and on the north side of Clearwater Crossing. To find out more, thedistricttap.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Willpower was awesome. Oh, James, are you playing a really good song by Joy Division for me right now? Thank you very much. Part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would be this band because they also sprouted into New Order. Joy Division, James, well done. JMV Takeover is going to be in Lot 6A, Bronze Fun Time Camper, coming up on Saturday night. The All Request JMV Takeover. You guys got to be there. Details forthcoming. Alex Lamontes is back. Hurst and Lamontes. We talked to Alex on Friday when we were in Speedway. He is back with us today. You guys are presenting us along with the Indiana Fever before tonight's game against Portland. There's a lot going on here right now. Early stages here at Pivot Bar and Balcony, but a lot going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm waiting for all the fans to show up here. I mean, what a wonderful venue you guys picked right here. Even though it's a little cloudy outside today, they got a great setup in here. We've got all our Fever decorations out. We've got our tents out here. We're supporting the Fever Fund.
Yes.
Yeah,
I saw Chris Melby sent me that email. I love Melby too, and that's very important.
Yes, absolutely. And just raising awareness for what the Fever Fund is doing here in our Indiana community. And then speaking of community, we have donated some gas gift cards.
Explain this, because I can do this on the air, I can do it live. How do you want to do it? I should say over the phone or live here. How do you want to do that?
I think we do a little bit of both. How about that?
We spread the wealth a little bit, Alex. Look at you right here. So these are gas cards.
These are $50. They're gas gift cards. They're really Visa gift cards. But, the other day I filled up my tank, $100 to fill up my tank. And I know that if I'm feeling the pinch, so is everyone else.
Yes.
And I figured, hell, if I'm going to give back to the community, try to make the world a little bit of a better place, may as well start with helping people save money on their gas bill.
That is a good dude right there. So we have $50 gas cards.
Yes.
Hey, James, do you mind? I'll bring these back. You want to do something on the text line right now, James? You care?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, text line. My computer's being funny right now. Hey, James, my computer's saying it's almost time to restart. Hey, jackass, I didn't ask you, Whopper, to restart. James, what's going on here? But I've got a gift card, $50 gas card for what number, James? Pick a number right here.
Let's do number 25.
Number 25 at 317-239-1070. I will bring this back, and we will give this to you. This is a $50 gas card right here to give away to number 25 at 317-239-1070 on the text line. All right, Alex, what else are we doing today?
Well, today we're tipping off against Portland. That's for sure later on today. But I mean, we've got plenty of things we're giving away here. We've got all kinds of goodies, some Yetis, some really cool Travis Matthews hats. One of them that I've got on.
Those are badass right there, too. And we're going to have some friends and colleagues of yours join the show, too.
Yeah, some guys that are a lot more interesting than I am. So,
well, you can just hang out. And you can ride shotgun with me. I guess that's still allowed to say.
Yeah.
But you can ride shotgun with me the entire day.
Absolutely.
Because we had a great time on Friday. That was a hellaciously awesome time.
Yeah, and we got to hang out with Pat, too, man.
Pat Sullivan of Sullivan Hardware and Garden.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I was out there. I was actually at Sullivan's on Sunday.
Well, you really? Well, he'll be glad to hear that.
Yes, I saw his son Andrew out there. Yeah.
Evidently, he got sick, I think. He was not on the Home and Garden Show. Yeah, he was not on the Home and Garden Show and got sick. But all right, Alex, hang out. We'll come back with you guys in just a minute. Hurst Lamontes is with us. They present us to you today, along with the Fever. I am pronouncing that correctly, right?
You are, yes.
It's weird because I mispronounced your name at the outset, and now I'm very skittish about mispronouncing it again. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like when you make that first out, you're skittish about doing it again.
Yeah.
It's me.
Well, I started my career as a criminal defense attorney, and I've been called worse.
Okay, I'm sure you have. All right, Alex is going to rejoin coming up in a minute. We've got Ryan Hunter-Ray also coming up at the top of the hour. Will Power on a podcast at 1075thefan.com. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. My advice, become a AAA member today. My friend Matt Goins will set you up and make sure when you go on your summer vacation, you're on the road, that somebody's got your back. AAA. The Pivot Bar and Balcony is a destination downtown across from Cambridge Fieldhouse before the Fever in Portland later on tonight. Join us for your chance for future Fever tickets. We'll explain that on the other side, and we'll give away more gas cards also coming up live here in the 4 o'clock hour. Stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. We'll take you to a break right now on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, this is John. Hi, Brittany. This is John for BullseyeEventGroup.com and the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes and Sons Restoration. All right, so the Colts schedule is officially out. That's the spot to get your tickets. Why? Because you can combo that up with the best pregame tailgate party anywhere. Inside, outside, downtown, right across Capitol from Lucas Oil Stadium. All you can eat. All you can drink. And by the way, I have been given word that the MC of all those events, Laura Steele, will join us coming up on Saturday night on the JMV Takeover. But this is regarding Bullseye. BullseyeEventGroup.com. This is the place to get your tickets. You can cherry pick the game of your choice. Just make sure you combo that up because you want to make this the experience of the year. That's a pregame party with the Colts VIP tailgate, and then a ticket to the game. Do that right now. BullseyeEventGroup.com, and a shout-out to Kyle Kinnett, who does it again. He keeps raising the bar because you see the rest of the NFL doing just that, what Kyle has done with Bullseye. Tickets and combo it up with the pregame party, the best around, with BullseyeEventGroup.com. Hey, John here. You want your real growing hair? It is easy. Seriously. Love that here to our good friend Darren Andrews at 317-522-2995. That's WeGrowHairND.com. All right, so you noticed in the mirror, the reflection dictates the terms, and you're losing your hair, and that stinks. Let's do something about that with WeGrowHairND.com. Give Darren a call, and you can do multi-unit hair grafting, artist robotic FUE, laser hair therapy, and then the boosters after that. And you can even go, I would advise this, get your hair done over there. So my hair done over there was from McKinsey. McKinsey is excellent. As for McKinsey, that is over at the Pyramids, building number 2 with WeGrowHairND.com. 317-522-2995. Get going today. Call Darren Andrews and tell him I sent you. WeGrowHairND.com.
The Ride with JMV.
And you could tell Rolling Stone magazine that my last words were, I'm on drugs.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. We're at the Pivot Bar and Balcony with Hurst Lamontes. I'm trying not to sound, Alex, like a complete hillbilly when I say your last name right here. My God. We got Fever tickets for a future game, and this is the pre-gamer, the primer, if you will, for the Fever and Portland coming up later on tonight. Alex is going to rejoin in a second. Tony East a little bit later on. James Boyd is going to stop by. And, of course, later on this week, you know about the festivities on Carb Day. You know about the JMV Takeover, the All-Request Saturday night on B105.7. The All-Request show is from the Bronze Fun Time Camper. We're going to be in Lot 6A right across from IMS on Georgetown Road from 6 until midnight, taking your request with DJ Skids and Laura Steele. It is going to be a blast. But on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, we're talking a former winner of the greatest spectacle in racing. Let's bring on board here Ryan Hunter Ray, who joins us now. Hey, Ryan, thank you for the time. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, Ryan, one-off situations, the difficulties, the pluses and the minuses of doing something like this as a driver.
Yeah, I mean, it's unique with, especially with Arrow McLaren. It's such a big team, and I've been basically embedded in programs since the beginning of the season, so I don't really feel like a one-off. The tough part is, I guess, getting a group of people together in the most competitive racing series in the world, in the biggest event, the biggest race in the world, and executing flawlessly and on one day. I think that's the hardest or the biggest uphill climb, I guess you can say, is just trying to sort that out. But man, they've thrown all the talent at it, and I'm thrilled to be here. That's for sure.
So Ryan Hunter Ray is with us. How empty was the feeling a year ago? Because it felt like you were primed to win another one, and you didn't. What was the feeling like at the end of that race when you kind of rewind that in your head?
It was beyond heartbreaking. Honestly, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep well for days after that, and it was really because, our primary car that we had worked the team had built all year and worked so hard on, burnt down on Carb Day, and we had to go to basically an unproven kind of pit stop practice car that was in the shop. They brought it over. It had never turned a lap when I went into turn one, lap one of the Indy 500. It was its first kind of, go at it. And, I had to see what I had under me. I had to, kind of feel it out. And we had to make aero adjustments through the whole race. And the fact that we were going to come out in front of the eventual leader, Alex Blow, with 2 lap cars between what would have been us and him, it's just, it's gut wrenching, man. But that's the Indy 500. That's why it'll deal, the greatest blows, and it'll give you the most amazing moments of your life.
Do people not know? People, when you and others would suggest that really IMS dictates terms on the champion so much. You don't really understand that until you're behind the wheel, until you live it. I'm assuming like you have in this case, right? You don't truly understand it. Even if you say it, you just don't understand.
Yeah, correct. It is. It's that way. And honestly, I've experienced every high and low this place has to offer, being on the front row, being on the back row, being bumped out, winning the race, having it, ripped from my hands within sight of victory, all facets of it. And honestly, it just makes me love the place even more and respect it even more. It is like nothing else in racing or in sports.
I've always wanted to ask this of you, and I will right here. Does the joy of winning, does it outweigh the kick in the groin of the circumstances that go in the negative category?
I mean, I'd have to say yes. The ones that have got away, they haunt me more than I feel like I think about the win. But like many drivers told me after the race, they're like, hey, at least you have one, man. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't make me feel much better, but I get it from their perspective, So it's all about perspective, and yeah, I mean, winning Indy was it was, I was a tiny little kid in front of the TV watching my heroes race this race, and I ended up winning the thing. So I have to be thankful for that, and I am. But that doesn't make it any easier when a second gets away from you.
From Arrow McLaren, it's Ryan Hunter-Ray. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Carb Day coming up on Friday, 1:10 coming up on Sunday morning. Again, Tony Katz and I, Pagoda Plaza. We start at 6 a.m. until 11, getting you set for that 93.5, 107.5 The Fan, 93 WIBC. Do you enjoy this portion of your career more than when you first started? Because, listen, I always like to know from veterans like you, where are you right now and how much you enjoy it compared to not knowing what to expect for the first time of being a part of this? What's been more enjoyable for you as far as your career is concerned?
I mean, I can't say one or the other. My days at Andretti when we were kicking ass all the time was awesome, and wouldn't replace it for anything in the world. It's just another chapter in the book. It's just a different page, and really focusing on the 500 to me is it's so pure, and I love it. Right? I mean, Indy's everything, and to be able to work with a really talented group of people for months and months, preparing for these 2 weeks is an incredible experience. But yeah, I mean, like I said, they're just different chapters in a book, and one thing's kind of common denominator between them is that winning at Indy means everything, and that's been my sole focus from day one of my career to where I am now.
Ryan, is this competitive fix you have in competing in the Indy 500? Is that a must for you? Can you envision yourself without the Indy 500 and not racing in this right now? Is that a fix you have to have?
I mean, when it comes to competing in it, I'm never here to be a part of it, right? I'm never here to be an IndyCar driver or be a driver in the race. I'm here, and I make these decisions every year because I want to win it. Do I have do I have the pieces to the puzzle to win it? Is that being offered to me? Is it possible? And that's when I make my decisions. I'm too competitive to do it otherwise. And no, I mean, Indy will always be. It's part of my fabric. It's who I am, right? It's part of. Not just an Indy 500 winner. It's just a part of, my kids love this place more than Disney World. It's a family thing as well. And it's given me so much over the years, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for it, honestly. So yeah, got another shot at it here, and with an incredible team at Arrow McLaren and an incredible group of people. And man, when I have that behind me, I give 125%. That's for sure.
You roll off 22nd. Do you feel like you have the pieces this year to get where you want to go?
Well, last year we rolled off 24th or 25th and almost won it. I won from 19th. So it's a race, and it's 500 miles. It's a long one, and it's that for a reason. So anything can happen on race day, to anybody, positive or negative. But I know, with my experience and the big picture kind of mentality that I have, I know when to push, when to have controlled aggression, when to not. And, I'm going to do my best to apply all that on Sunday.
He is Ryan Hunter-Ray of Arrow McLaren. He rolls off 22nd coming up on Sunday for the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500. And Ryan's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So I just talked to Will Power, and I was talking to him about having the resource of Mauro Andretti. And the advice that he can provide, not only as a former champion, but certainly as a guy that's been around that track forever and as ambassador for the track and for the sport in general. And where's the best advice you ever received regarding this race? Does anything stand out to you? Because I'm assuming you probably have taken bits and pieces over your career from guys that have been there and done that. But what's the best advice you've ever received about this race from somebody?
Honestly, it hasn't necessarily been advice from somebody where they're like, hey, sit down. I want to talk to you for 15 minutes. This is years and years and years of having worked with super talented teammates like Tony Kanaan, and all of them all the way through. I've raced for 10 different IndyCar teams, and I've amassed a ton of relationships and experience and knowledge along those lines. And, it's layering of that those experiences really that impacts my bottom line when it comes to race day. It wasn't just one person one day sitting me down and saying, hey, you need to think about this. Other than that, never happened really. It was just more, the opportunities I've had, the people I've worked with, and you kind of put that all together and let it culminate into what it will on Sunday.
We're studying compared to being reactionary. Where does that? Where's the balance there? Because I mean, you're veteran. I'm assuming you're very patient in what you do. You mentioned how you've won this race and how far back you've been before, how far back you were with the potential of winning it a year ago. How do you balance the patience and this just being reactionary and going for it? How do you balance that as a veteran driver?
It's a mix of it, and you have to know when to apply, aggression and risk versus when you need to, throttle back and maybe instead of trying to make this pass happen in 2 laps, you make it happen over 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever it is. A lot of those things come kind of naturally, subconsciously, but some of it comes from studying, film from the year before and working through data. And working through everything with the group. I mean, these cars over the years have changed in spec and how they're driven, and the tire has changed a bit, and you're just constantly studying all of the different variables in this kind of experiment we're doing. And you become, you come to let's say the classroom as prepared as possible for the test, and you put together everything that you know, and then from there you let your kind of instinct and natural ability take over.
If there was something you could change, and you think it would change this race or the car that you wheel for the better and be more competitive for everybody, is there anything that you would provide informationally speaking that you think would make this thing better? The race, the car, the racing itself?
I think the 28 car will be better in the fact that, it's going to be designed to have the aero screen, integrated into it, whereas this current car has had it added on. We've added on a hybrid. We've added on, side intrusion panels, all things that are necessary on the safety side. But, once we have a car that's designed to carry this weight in certain areas that it does, I think will be way better racing. Like if you look back to like 14, like I said, when we started 19th, I carved my way through the field and was leading by halfway. With this car, you can't do that unless you've got some guys that had bad pit stops or you've had awesome pit stops and you jump a bunch of people in the pit sequence. So I think we need to get back to that. When you have a good race car, you should be able to knife your way through the field. As it is currently, it's difficult to do from, P4. So, we'll get there, but this ar is certainly, and you will see on Sunday, it's gonna put on a great show, and this is the most competitive racing series in the world. So it just so happens to be at the biggest sporting event in the world as well. So it's a pretty cool combination.
2014, you won the greatest spectacle in racing. Was that your best car?
Yeah, I'd have to compare it to my 2016 car, which we were going to win that one as well. And I hate saying we would or we should or whatever. The thing was awesome. It was same feeling I had in 14. Unfortunately, we got taken out in a pit road incident. Somebody ran into us. So that happens. It's racing. But, I'd say 2014 and 2016 were my most dominant cars.
Hey, Ryan, that's a great segue, too, because I was going to ask you, and there's no need to name names. Hell, if you want to, you can, but I don't want you to have to feel obligated to do so. Do you look around who's around you on the starting grid and say, this is okay, or concerned about who's starting around you? Do you look at it that way?
Oh, you take stock in everybody, It's like different personalities. Same way, these guys drive race cars. Everybody, their kind of nuances, what they might do, what they might not do, the sketchy ones, all that. So it's, you just know who you're racing around.
You got me almost talked into picking you coming up on Sunday. What do you think?
You can't count me out, man. Never. I'll dig deeper and fight harder than anybody else. Just matters of what limitations we might not have. We'll see.
Well, I'm motivated by that, too. By the way, I know you got to run here, but Ed Carpenter can attest to this. I picked him like 5 consecutive years, and I think he's had his worst years ever. So he just said, would you stop picking my ass, please? Stop. So I don't really know. I don't know if you want me to pick you.
Impact on it. All good,
but
man.
Our conversation. Yeah, hey, Ryan, our conversation has got me kind of inspired to select you to win this thing coming up on Sunday. I like what you're saying here.
Hopefully you're good luck then. If you're not, then don't, please. But
Errol McLaren driver and the former champion Ryan Hunter-Reay. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, the best of luck. Hopefully, Carb Day, you could get out there and shake things down the way you want it. And the 110 is magical for you coming up on Sunday. I appreciate your time, and let's do it again soon, Ryan. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
It's a Ryan Hunter-Reay on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I couldn't tell whether or not he felt compelled for me to pick him or not. So Ed Carpenter could attest to this. There were like 5 consecutive years I said, Ed Carpenter, who, by the way, joins us on tomorrow's show. And I think he finally said, geez, could you stop picking me? Because when you pick me, I stink. And I stopped. So that was good. Really good stuff. Podcast with Ryan Hunter-Reay on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline again. Pivot Bar and Balcony right across from Gainbridge Fieldhouse, because he got the Fever coming up later on tonight. The Fever in Portland, the third of a 4-game homestand for the Fever that are 2-2 on the season. Alex rejoins us right now. We need to remind folks that we've got tickets to give away. That is an August game against New York, right, Alex?
It is.
And it's center court tickets, correct?
Yep, center court, best seats in the house, man.
Wow.
When you're right there, you can see all of the action. You don't even have to move your head around.
Hurst Lamontes, you're partners with the Fever as well, correct?
Yes.
Now, how did all that evolve, by the way, too?
Funny enough, we were actually partners with the Fever before they drafted Caitlin Clark.
Really now?
So we joined them right before they drafted her, and it's just been kind of a wild ride since then. I mean, talk about catching lightning in a bottle, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, for real. And you go to these games, it's like a playoff game, man. The atmosphere, just how crazy it is in there and how loud and everything. I mean, it's just so much fun.
It is. It is incredible. And for her, it's a luxury, but it probably can also be a bit of a curse for her, because you end up having to be a part of dialogue that has zero to do with what you care about doing. And that is playing basketball and winning for your team. And then all these other jackasses out there bring you in. And I shouldn't say she doesn't get involved in it, but try to bring you into stuff. And that's not the reason why you're here.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting dynamic, I think, altogether with Caitlin Clark here.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But here's what I'll say. I've had the pleasure of meeting her a couple of times at some Fever events. And you want to talk about someone that's just completely down to earth, just like a normal kind of Midwest girl.
You got to be grounded with this.
Yeah, she was great. I mean, she was messing with Lexi Hull, giving her a hard time, just really just having a great rapport with not just the fans, but with her teammates. So I just loved seeing that. That was wonderful, man.
All right, Alex, we've got tickets to give away. What else we got going on here today?
Well, we've got tickets for the New York game in August. We've got some really cool Yetis. We've got some Travis Matthews golf hats we're giving away. We've got some stadium-approved bags in here that people can come by and grab. Gas cards. We're giving away all kinds of things here for all the Fever fans.
And, again, you can sign up because we have a ticket giveaway. These are center court. Look at Corey Kenny winning something right there. That is well done out of you, pal. We have center court tickets for the New York Liberty and the Fever coming up in August.
Correct.
At Gainbridge Fieldhouse. You're going to hang around the entirety of the day. You're going to bring over some friends and colleagues, right?
Yeah, I've got some attorneys here and some people from my office.
I love to be surrounded by attorneys.
Right, who doesn't?
It's a very comfortable zone that I live right here, Alex. Man, fantastic. Alex is going to hang with us. I know Tony East is also on the inbound. And we've got James Boyd on the way. We've got Cole's Jersey Jay. We'll get Jay coming up on the other side at 239-1070. It is the AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, and our location is Pivot Bar and Balcony right across from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. We've got you going here. So this is your pregame spot. Get here, sign up for those tickets, hang out with us. We would love to see you. Stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. I'll also give you the information that you need tomorrow. Why Chris Hagan, yes, I'll take another one too. While Chris Hagan is going to be in for me for a couple of hours, I'll explain that. And then Carb Day, which is going to be, regardless of Mother Nature's interference, is going to be spectacular. That explanation on the way as well. But speaking of Mother Nature, we've got a breakdown of the weather forecast right now, courtesy of our friends, James of Fox 59.
Because you keep taking them off.
I know. Hey, John, here for Premier. We're talking about me wearing glasses right here, by the way. Premier Deck Coating. Hey, I want to make sure your outdoor living space is the best that it can be. And Premier Deck Coating, my friend Ron can help you out with a free quote today. 317-696-4071. Repels moisture, which obviously on a day like today or days like today, incredibly important. Scratch resistant and offered in virtually any color imaginable. And besides decks, you can also find fences and pergolas. I do the trim of my brick house, and it looks spectacular. They also side with you on a 10-year guarantee. That's Ron and Premier Deck Coating. Get that free quote today. 317-696-4071. That is PremierDeckCoating.com today. Hey, John here for, you got it, Premier Weight Loss in the two Indy area locations. That's PWLindy.com. Did you know that Premier Weight Loss, Thomas has cobbled together a T-shirt for Carb Day that is a JMV Sucks original T-shirt with a big thing, a carton of cottage cheese on the front. This is going to be can't miss. We'll give those away. Plus, you know this to be true in the month of May. It is all about expediting the process, meaning being fast. And Premier Weight Loss can help you get to where you want to go in your weight loss goal quickly. Now, I can tell you this because I've lived through the experience. If you work alongside of the Premier Weight Loss weekly injections, you're going to see the greater results. Meaning if you work out, if you move around, do a little bit of something, if you adjust your diet, that's where you're going to see the most out of what you're doing with Premier Weight Loss. And the best part about it, they're goal-oriented, and they're going to keep you on track. Whether it's Thomas or Sam or Lauren, they will keep you on track and make sure they help you reach the goal that you're looking for. And obviously, it's about look, and we're all living in a world of vanity, but it's also about your health. Be healthy for the first time in a while. Get back to doing things that you really want to do, that you used to do, but you couldn't here recently with my friends from Premier Weight Loss. Give them a shout today. Tell them I sent you. That's PWLindy.com. Great deals going on to get started on your very own weight loss journey. That's PWLindy.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
Scheduled programming will not be seen at this time so that we may bring you an ABC after-school special. Stoned.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
That's funny.
You know, the star of that ABC after-school special, can anybody name the actor, I guess former actor now, that was the star of that ABC after-school special? Alex?
I want to say the Reading Rainbow guy, but that's not right.
It is not it.
Yeah.
Chase Wilson is here
Star
for the
Trek.
first time in a long time. He's been silent for a minute. You know who that was? The actor?
No idea.
He played Chachi Arcola on Happy Days and then a spinoff with Joni Loves Chachi. Who am I talking about? Scott Baio.
Oh, yeah.
Scott, see, you guys may have to hire me in your office. I'm a resource. We're going to get to Alex and Chase coming up in a minute. You guys sit tight. Tony East is going to join us as he covers the Pacers and the Fever on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Now, I know you couldn't make it here at Pivot. That's our location. We're staked out across from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That is okay. And we'll start with the Fever dialogue right here. With this team being 2-2, their defense has to be a lot better. Where does that begin to you, Tony, with this defense being better for the Fever?
Yeah, I mean, it usually starts at the same place for a lot of these Pacers and Fever combos the last couple of years. The point of attack at the first player defending the ball, because they'll tell you, and they're not wrong about this, but what the Fever players have said they're missing is communications and rotations on the backside. But to me, what's happening is there's a breakdown up front. They lose a ball handler who gets into the lane way too easily or whatever it is, and they have to rotate. And the first rotation sometimes is okay, but after that, they get really lost. Someone's on the wrong player. There's two players on somebody. No one gets out to a shooter, whatever it is. And so that's why some of these teams who have really dynamic guards, Sonia Citron and Paige Beckers with the wings, have really given them trouble. They've been unable to keep that player out of the paint, and then it all just kind of snowballs from there, whereas the two teams they've beat weren't as dynamic up front, and so they really have to stop the ball to get out of rotation in the first place. But once they don't stop the ball, they do have to be better on a team level of kind of rotating and being connected on the back line, and they have not been good enough at that.
How comparable is it? You just mentioned it. This is a reason why I'm kind of drawn into this. How comparable is how we used to be critical of Tyrese Halliburton and his on-the-ball defense or not keeping somebody in front of him to that of what we've seen with Caitlin Clark with the Fever?
The same. I mean, almost exact. Like Kelsey Mitchell is in the same exact bucket here. All three are so awesome on offense that you forgive a lot of defensive mistakes. But I mean, Caitlin and Kelsey would both tell you the defense is not their strength and where they're the best. And they've been a little too they haven't provided enough resistance up front of stopping these players or making it harder for them to get where they want to go, and that's caused a lot of problems for the rest of the team. And if the rest of the team's rotating well or those players are a part of that good communication after a breakdown, then yeah, it's not as big of a deal. And the Fever have, Stephanie White's talked about, they have principles on how they kind of want to send players who can beat you off the dribble towards help or towards whatever. And, that's another way that those players who get beat up front can be a little less impactfully bad when that happens. But it has been a thing for both the Pacers and Fever that their star guards, who again are incredibly good players, do have some defensive holes in their game.
All right, so from what you've seen so far, Tony East is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, and they're not going to make any snap judgments, I'm sure, right now. But what is, besides the whole defensive efforts and staying in front of defenders and not giving up a hundy in a game and a loss, whatever the case might be, is there a definite need area, something that you foresee they're going to have to fix at some point during this season?
Yeah, honestly, it's so early that it's hard to say. I have answers, to be clear, but the weird thing about their season so far is they've lost twice by one possession, given up over 100 points. Last year, they were undefeated if they scored 92, right? I don't think they need to panic about these first two losses at all. Their offense has been awesome every night. So if reality settles in and even if they give up 90 a game, they could go, 30-10 or something this year. So I don't think that there's like this has to be addressed, this has to change kind of thought for them yet. But if there's anything, to me, their interior defense has not been, I think, up to the level they maybe hoped it would be with that rotation. Monique Billings missed a game. Aaliyah Boston missed a game. So it's not like perfectly clear what the exact level of that group is going to be. But, their reserve front court has not been good enough defensively, I think, so far. And that's something they might have to at least think about how to shift their rotation or make some changes to address at some point.
Do they have enough bigs, enough operational bigs?
Yeah, they have enough of them. Yes, operational is a key part of.
Well, yeah, that's why I said it that way. Yeah, operational is a nice way to say it. Yeah.
And I asked Stephanie White last game about kind of how she's managing the rotation so far, kind of with the bigs in mind, but the guards a little bit. Just that every game we've seen her kind of shift who gets minutes and when. Like Michaela Timpson barely plays this half and plays much more the next, and Demiris Dantas barely plays for this stretch or whatever. And Billings and Boston have mostly played. But, like, the game Hines Allen closed against the Mystics, that was like Aaliyah Boston got hurt. She played like 2 minutes in the first half. Even she was kind of subject to this roller coaster of minutes. So I think they're still trying to figure out how these bigs can be at their best and what their best role is and things like that. And, that's kind of been tricky for them to figure out. She attributed it to offense, defense, balance, and trying to figure out what groups do and don't work. But they haven't given any of them, I think, enough defensively yet to know for sure what makes the most sense.
Tony East is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Here's what made no sense to me. We'll transition to the NBA. And listen, I felt good either way, whether the Knicks were getting blown out at home in MSG in game number 1 or the Cavaliers kind of gagged it up as what we saw. How in the world does Kenny Atkinson not get fired after that game for leaving James Harden in those situations consistently as he did? I know that we're talking about a future Hall of Famer, but he didn't do what was best for the team, and anybody would have noticed what was best for the team in those moments late in the fourth and into overtime. What the hell was going on there?
Yeah, that was really odd. I mean, they attacked him the entire fourth quarter and overtime, basically. And, am I back? My phone just evaporated for a second. Not to give, too much. Man. JMV, my phone is causing a lot of problems. He did go to Dean Wade at one point for like 2 possessions, and it didn't work at all. And then he just kept James Harden out there, and they kept switching everything, and he can barbecue by the same action. Strange. I did feel like they needed to take him out much sooner, or at least like put him on a different player and make the Knicks try other combinations of things. And it's so weird the way that went down, because in many ways I felt like the Cavs loss was an offensive loss. Like they only scored 6 or 8 points in the final 8 minutes of the game, but they could have played way better defense with like the most simple adjustment ever, and they never did it, which was so weird. And one of those things you always back on, like, what was Kenny really thinking in those moments?
That's what I'm saying too. Is it was the simplest adjustment. You don't have to be John Wooden Jr. to go, oh, well, hell, here's what they need. I mean, anybody out there understood what they needed to do. And Tony, what's funny about it is they needed one stop. Like one stop in the last 6 minutes or so. It was a joke of a giveaway, and most times like that, you never recover from that. And really, I just think you anointed the Eastern Conference Championship to the Knicks with the way that you coached up that game one. And to me, that's a fireable offense.
It was pretty fireable. Maybe so. I mean, the Pacers gave up a 20-point lead in Game 3 last year against the Knicks at home, I believe, too, and they ended up winning that series. And granted, they were already up 2-0 at the time, but it wasn't nearly as dramatic and catastrophic or, one issue as that Cavs one was in Game 1, obviously. And the thing about Cleveland is, like, they are so focused all the time on, like, their balance of the floor with their guards and the offense that they need to try to run. That's why they play Sam Merrill so freaking much, and he almost won them the game at the buzzer. But like that, when their defense falls apart like that and they have to have defensive answers, they kind of don't. And that's when I think Kenny's always looked the most lost. And those dramatic games do tend to have like a really core effect on someone's firing in the future. So I suppose it is possible that that leads to something like that. But it's like, man, if they make that 3 at the buzzer, that, like, I think Mike Breen was about to say bang before it bounced out. We're not even really talking about it. So I don't know if it's like quite fireable, but it was really rough. And you're right that like it doesn't take any famous coach. You and I both could see it while it was happening, but taking off James Harden after you trade Darius Garland for him, I just don't think they could actually ever do it, even if it was the right thing to do.
Oh my God! I just think the right thing to do. You think, how would Rick Carlisle respond to that situation, coaching wise?
Has he ever taken out Ty like for a long stretch for defensive reasons in a playoff game? Like, I don't think he's. I don't think you can. I think what you have to try to do is what I like hinted at is you try James Harden on various different guys throughout that last 8 minutes and make that player become the Knicks ball handler or screener, because what made it so dramatic to me in a lot of ways is like it was almost always Brunson, right? And it not even that Harden was guarding Brunson, but it just made it so easy for him to be in the actions, like mix it up over and over, both from a combinations perspective and from an actions perspective, and just hope eventually the Knicks have to think for 2 seconds. Like they didn't even have to think. They just very quickly got from play to play and set that, and Brunson just kept cooking over and over in a way that was really impressive. And that's what made it so stagnant to me, is they never made any changes even with that kind of stuff.
See, what's funny about this, I would expect that response, and I like Mike Brown a great deal. When he was here, there was no nicer dude, and he is incredibly knowledgeable as a head coach. But what took place with Kenny Atkinson in Cleveland last night, I would expect more from Mike Brown and the Knicks.
You know what's funny is, like, teams in the playoffs, they don't like to talk about strategy. They don't like to crap on opposing players, right? They're generally kind about all that because they don't want it to be a media storm. And last night after the game, Mike Brown did not mince any words. He was like, yeah, we attacked James. Like, he just straight up said it, right? That's how obvious it was what they were doing. Like, it doesn't even matter if you mince words. That's what they did, and it worked.
Tony East with us. Before I let you go, so Chad Buchanan was on with me last week, and he talked about that the luxury tax situation is not a problem whatsoever. Is that something Pacer fans should really take to heart, or because they don't really have a lot of options? I hate to put it this way, but is that relatively easy to say for Pacer brass right now?
Yeah, I think I totally understand why fans would be, and I'll believe it when I see it mode with that kind of stuff. It hasn't really happened in this regimen of the team running the front office. And I think this would be a time, obviously last summer did a little bit, but they didn't have Halliburton. Like, this would be the time to do it. You're really good. You have Halliburton now. Like, we're talking about the Cavs collapsing last night. The two teams playing in the conference finals both lost to the Pacers in the playoffs last year, right? You're telling me the Pacers aren't looking at this field thinking they could have, made some serious noise and could do so again next year, right? Like, they've got to be thinking that way. And so that's why I think they know that if their team gets better, they'll have a very good chance to do something. But as it stands, like, they're basically already in the tax with the 14 players that they have. And so if they want to get better and use the MLE like they talked about, or use whatever spending resource they believe could make them a better team or make them more competitive, they would have had to go into the tax, or they would have to trade away someone else, like not one of their core players, but maybe like a Jarris Walker or Ben Shepherd. And, trading away young players is not fun or easy and sends a certain kind of message when you trade away your own former first-round pick. So I understand that people being in a believe it when I see it kind of mode, and I think the Pacers certainly have the tools to go into the tax and make their team better without actually having to sacrifice money. But, it's got to be the right – I do believe them when they say it's got to be the right guy for it to be worth it, because if it's actually hard for them to convince the ownership group or convince their franchise to actually do it, then you have to do it at the right time and make it actually worth the money. And if they don't believe that's there, I do at least understand why they would, think about being a little more stingy in that kind of moment.
Hey, great way to close here with a segue. Is there a perfect player for the amount of money, or the perfect player for the scenario in which you're talking about right now?
Yeah, and the money that's the thing, is like the money they could actually spend goes up if they trade away one of Walker or Shepherd, and that makes it easier for them to get somebody who's like closer to, could close games and could play but not close games. But like, he just closed for the Knicks last night, so he's probably outside the price range. But I thought Landry Shamet would be a good fit for them, for example. And they could use more shooting and ball handling off the bench. Like, he certainly provides a lot of that for the Knicks, but he might be pricing himself out of their range. Everybody's going to talk about Chris Middleton, but he's kind of hurt and old and creaky. Bones Highland, I think, might be a good fit at that kind of backup guard spot. There's a lot of guys that make sense, and the price range and quality of player goes up if they're willing to move on from some other guys.
All right, so there was nothing with Trey Murphy being at that game that would lead you to believe that there's any interest whatsoever, correct?
No, well, I mean, everybody should have interest in Trey Murphy. He's really good, but they were sitting next to one of the hosts and producers of the Young Man and the Three podcast, so I think it had more to do with that. And Trey Murphy has hosted that show before, so that would be my strong suspicion. But it was very funny to see Tyrese Halliburton lean into that and like literally lean away from him when he was on the Jumbotron, but make sure that he was in part of the frame so everybody knew he was there, but not the entire frame. It felt very hilariously intentional to me, even if it was probably just for a podcast thing.
So there's like the ultimate tease is what you're saying right there, right?
Yeah, man, but that's like, if they're going to, it's one of the things that Chad talked about with you, and they said the lottery, like they have more picks they can trade now. Like Trey Murphy's the kind of guy you do that for, right? He's that good and would really make their team better, but it would be an expensive cost, so it's not easy.
I know I got to run here, James, but in closing here, Tony, I just think we're going to see like unusual circumstances with things from this team. I hate putting it this way because this sounds dorky, but that's the kind of the vibe that I got from Chad, and I've really received from Chad, especially after that situation in Chicago going back almost a couple of Sundays ago now. I think that they're going to do some things or try to do some things that are very unconventional with how we view the Pacers in the past, Tony. I do.
I think that would be a good thing for them to do.
Tony, I appreciate it, man. And thanks for adjusting from that phone situation. That was well done out of you. Technology is a plus. Well done.
I don't understand. You got to kick me off. I'm sorry. I don't understand how it's so hard for phones and cars to connect in the year 2026. Anyway, thanks for having me.
You got it, pal. Thank you. Tony East right there is fantastic with what he does. You can find him in a variety of ways online. Tony East writes for the Pacers and the Fever. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So Alex and Chase will rejoin on the other side. And I think, whereas I like to explain it relatively naked, we are nude the rest of the way because without guests, Chase, not literally, all right? Don't giggle here. Not literally are we nude, but we are without guests unless James Boyd slides by here a little bit later on. Stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. It is the Pivot Balcony Bar, or bar and balcony, if you will, which is wide open. We've got gas cards to give away. We've got tickets for a future game to give away for the Fever, which are at center court. Alex and Chase will explain coming up on the other side. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, it's John here from Mark Dito, Mark Dito Realty. That is Mark Dito Realty for you today. The best in realty. I talk about it all the time, too. You want to go with the best in certain situations, or really all situations, but certainly this situation, and whether you need it right now or not, does not apply. Because you just want to go with the best. So future reference also applies. Mark Dito Realty, 317-755-4232. That's markdietel.com. MarkDietel.com today. No matter your situation, if you need it right now or if you need it in the future, make sure you utilize the best. And absolutely, that is Mark Dietel, the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Again, the number handy at all times. If you need it right now, if you're moving, you need a bigger place, or you need to downsize because you're empty nesting, that's fine. But always keep the number handy, 317-755-4232. The best in realty, markdietel.com, markdietel.com today. Big weekend coming up here, right? Big Red Liquors has got you covered in whatever you need. Powers the JMV Takeover, Lot 6A, coming up on Saturday night with B105.7. Hey, bring the cooler, and bring the cooler with some of the assets that are necessary. Bud and Bud Light products, Michelob Ultra, Miller Lite, if you want to go with Corona or Modelo, the locales of them both, which is Corona Premier and Modelo Oro, you bring that too, and make sure that you make that stop at Big Red Liquors. Big Red Liquors, 100-plus locations in the state of Indiana, 19 new in and around Indianapolis, and, of course, the red-hot deals, the speakeasy deals in preparation for the greatest spectacle in racing. Yes, you got to be a part of it. That's Big Red Liquors. Powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. To find the location nearest you, it's BigRedLiquors.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Hey, Yankees, you can take your apology out of your trophy and shove it straight up your ass.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, where are we without the greatness of Tanner Boyle, sports fans? Where are we without Tanner Boyle? He should play shortstop with that attitude for anybody. Pivot, bar, balcony. Indy 11 tickets right now. James, you want to go number 20 at 317-239-1070, the Indy 11 this weekend. And we've got a couple of passes for you. Let's say number 20. I think I did. Number 20 at 317-239-1070. We have Smashing Pumpkins tickets, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness with Billy Corrigan and the Smashing Pumpkins invading right across the street at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in October. They're celebrating 30 years of that album, and they're going to be in town in October. Those tickets are coming up a little bit later on, but the Indy 11 right now, number 20 at 317-239-1070 on the text line. You shall be a winner. All right, Alex and Chase back with us right now. Alex, explain to everybody what we're doing again here and why you should show up at Pivots on your way to the Fever game.
Well, I'd say, first of all, we're having a great time here.
There's no doubt.
We have a nice big group of people here. Everyone's chatting, having a wonderful time. We're giving away Fever tickets for the game in August against New York. We're giving away gas cards. God knows we need them.
We do.
I mean,
we've got
all
more.
Feel the pinch.
We'll do more for you in just a second. By the way, IMS.com for Carb Day tickets. That's Counting Crows and Switchfoot coming up on Friday. Carb Day 2026. IMS.com for those tickets, but you have gas cards for people here live, and then we'll do some more on the text line in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us, it's all about giving back to the community, trying to make the world a better place. That's why we're out here supporting the Indiana Fever Fund, Fever Fund that supports leadership, career development for young women and young girls, and athletics. We're probably going to have Chris Melby and Jessica stop by here later on.
Is Melby going to slide by here?
He texted me. He said he was going to come by.
We're going to be graced with his presence, huh?
Yes.
The presence of, much like we are with Chase Wilson right here.
Right.
Hey,
Let's
Alex, a little background with Chase. He used to be a contributor to the show, but he's been silent here recently. Put that microphone next to your grill right there, Pods. There you go. Now I got you now. All right. Much better. All right, so you've been silent for what reason here recently? Why? Work-related?
Well, John, I had kids, and I work a lot, so.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, BS is exactly how we put that right there.
The kids are working a lot.
So how long have you guys all been together, Alex?
Since he was a law clerk. Since he was in law school.
Really?
Over 10 years now. Yeah.
12 years as of this month.
Yep. And Chase actually just won Indiana Trial Lawyers Association Young Lawyer of the Year.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
well, look at you, Tom Cruise, right there. Look at me, Tom Cruise. Who's your favorite fictional lawyer?
Oh,
meaning in film. You guys like
Matlock.
Is that
the original?
Oh, you're
Andy Griffith Matlock.
you're a big Ben Matlock fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Why is that? Because he was just logical, and he was also he was always like 3 or 4 steps out in front of everybody.
Right. And I will say this, he never lost.
Yeah.
Never lost a case. It was Andy Griffith, of course.
Yeah.
Wore that white suit, had that great accent. But the first thing I learned as a lawyer is that was a bunch of BS because you lose cases all the time.
Yeah.
And so when I was a kid, I was just thrilled with watching this person in the courtroom. And I just thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
So,
actually, oddly enough, Emmanuel had me rank fictional lawyers for a TikTok last year, and Matlock and Harvey
That's why you've been
dark.
dark. That's why you've not been around. You've been doing TikTok videos.
Yeah, I'm doing too many videos.
So you got a top 5 of fictional.
A top 5 of fictional lawyers? I don't know if I have a top 5.
Where was Arnie Becker on that list from L.A. Law? Is he on that list somewhere?
This is the second time you've referenced something that's just before my time.
Oh, come on, man. L.A. Law's before your time?
I think so.
How old are you?
35.
What?
35.
He doesn't
45.
know L.A. Law?
Yeah.
I will say this. I don't know all the Law and Orders. I've never watched an episode of any of them, and they go on. They go back decades. I have no idea. But everybody still loves them today.
They do.
The lawyers.
Yeah.
What about Tom Cruise?
Oh, yeah.
Few Good Men?
Yeah, that's a
that
good
work
one.
right there. How about
he's
Paul
probably up
Newman?
there.
Because we're talking about the race coming up on Sunday. Paul Newman and The Verdict.
You know, I don't
Was he
know.
not? Was he not a trial lawyer in The Verdict? That was way, way before your time.
Yeah, I
right
was going
there.
to say I don't think I've seen it.
Exceptionally way before your time, right there. Well, the reason why I bring that up, because James knows this too. Another celebrity that was synonymous with the track for decades was James Garner, the actor James Garner. James Garner's daughter, Gigi, will join us on the show coming up on Friday. And I want to give a shout-out to J-Law. He was the one that started this. I kind of want to get the old-school memories of her father, Gigi Garner, her father, and his love and certain enjoyment into what was the Indianapolis 500, because he was a part of this. He and Paul Newman with Newman Haas Racing certainly was a part of this forever as well. But we miss those. Those were two of the biggest celebrities, honestly, of TV and film of all time right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, quick break. We'll come back. Alex and Chase rejoin. I think James Boyd here before the end of the show. 239-1070. If you guys are on hold, we'll get to you. If you're not, get there. Smashing Pumpkins tickets. We've got more gas cards. In fact, James, right now, if you don't mind, let's go number 30 with another gas card. This is a $50 gas card. Again, courtesy of Alex and Chase of Hurst Lamontes. We're going to give away another. Are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Did I mispronounce it?
Lamontes.
Lamontes. That's what I said.
That's fine.
That's why he's been not around for a while. Lamontes.
There you go. With a Z.
Hurst Lamontes.
There you go.
So it's my Southern Indiana accent you're making fun of right here, Chase.
I had to get rid of mine.
I don't think I like. Well, I did too, and a lisp. All right, number 30, James. That gas card from Hurst Lamontes. We give away right now. We got more to come in the 5 o'clock hour. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. You guys sit tight. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Covered indeed. The best in your car buying experience is my friend Eric Wilson and Rob at Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers. The Red Hot Buick Enclave. That's exactly what you're looking for right now in a variety of styles that will cover you from now. And then when you're thinking about on the road for those summertime destination getaways, those vacations, you're going to love that. The Buick Enclave and great deals in different styles going on right now. That's at Indiana's best. Contact my friend Eric Wilson and put the wheels in motion to get that new set of wheels for you at Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers. WeGrowHairIndy.com, 317-522-2995. Do you want your real growing hair again? The option with Darren Andrews is right there to not only make sure you get your real growing hair back, but it is sustainable with the booster technology they have right now. It is fantastic. Do you want to get your hair done? You want somebody to make that thing look great? Well, McKinsey is out there right now. They have their very own salon up at the Pyramids. It is awesome, and McKinsey is great at what she does. And a shout-out to Darren Andrews for putting everything together. If you want your real growing hair back, it is simply put a phone call away. Make it fast in honor of the month of May, because everything fast is always better at WeGrowHairIndy.com. 317-522-2995. Darren Andrews with that private consultation today. WeGrowHairIndy.com.
The Ride with JMV.
JMV does not suck at all.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Fever.
And my famous
in
East
Portland
fans.
later on tonight right there.
Yeah.
That's Alex right there having dialogue with a Fever fan. James is just passing by. Alex and Chase are here from Hurst and Lamontes. Make sure Chase is, look at Melby is in the house right here. Melby is going to interrupt the show with his present. Oh, I can't mention that? Oh, yeah, you got to get over here and get on the show here. Hey, Melby, get over here and sit down with me for a minute. Come on, Palomino, do it. All right, I got Alex and I got Chase here. We are at Pivot Bar and Balcony with Hurst, Lamontes, and the Fever before the Fever take on Portland later on tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on. You can get signed up for tickets, a future game, and we're talking center court with the Liberty and the Fever. Get signed up for that. We have gas cards to give away. In fact, I'm going to watch you. The next person that walks up the stairs and comes over to me and says, hey, I was listening, we're going to give you a gas card. Perfect. $50 right there. That is Alex. That is Chase. Melby, man, have you not been around us long enough to know that you got to put that thing on to yak, all right? Nobody's going to hear you if you don't put that on right there. And put that next to your grill.
You know how I can yap.
Look at that right there. It's like kindergarten for broadcasting right here with Chris Melby in the house.
You know I can yap.
I know you can yap.
I mean, most of the people that listen to me yap all day long don't want to hear it, so I was trying to spare the group.
It is all good. So how did you guys all come together right here? This is a motley crew, to say the least.
It is. Honestly, it's really Alex and Chase being smart marketers for their business. We started
noticed
chatting.
that angling right there, did you not? The smart market. I should have said that long ago, and I didn't. I should have said that on Friday.
I mean, it's really true.
Smart market is for your business.
They kind of saw this this wave that's happening with the fever coming before it really took off like the rocket ship that it has. And we're thrilled to be able to partner with this wonderful local organization. They're doing great things in the community. A big part of our partnership, and I know with you guys as well, is helping promote the Fever Fund, which is the Fever arm of the Pacers Foundation. And we're just thrilled to work with local businesses like Hurst and Lamontes, and especially when they're trying to do great things in the community like this.
That is beautiful right there, too. Now, the idea of the Fever Fund, what's that entail right there for everybody that may not know about it, too? Can you hear me okay? Debbie can't hear me, he says right there. So what is the idea of the Fever Fund from what you know?
Thank you, JMV, for making it simple for me.
I know. That's
well, man, now I got some volume in my ear.
There you go.
Now I can hear everybody.
All you got to do is ask, pal. That's all you got to do.
That's right. So the Pacers Foundation is an organization that issues grants to all kinds of different local youth-serving organizations. I'm out again, but...
Oh, yeah? Just keep talking. We hear you.
No problem. The Fever Fund is a branch of the Pacers Foundation that focuses mostly on organizations that are supporting young women, girls up and coming in our community. And many of you around town have probably seen the Pacers license plates that have been out for years. That's a fundraiser for the Pacer Foundation. That's not going to anyone's pocket. That's helping. When you buy a Pacer license plate, you're helping give back to the community, to the Pacer Foundation. Just this year, we have added a Fever license plate. So same thing, generating funds. If you're a Fever fan out there listening to JMV right now, I know we're not in an area where they can honk as they drive by. I've been that guy honking and driving by before.
See, you talk about a great business decision. How about that? Well, that's better than any Nielsen ratings or anything like that. Is it not? The whole honk? You like the honking thing? You're proud of that.
Honking thing, man. You have any idea how many times I've driven past you at the shop or wherever else? Just if I get a chance to lay into my horn and it's directed at you, that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, right there too.
But no, any of those Fever fans that are out there listening right now, and didn't know that a Fever license plate was available, go out and get one. Next time you're at the BMV, get the Fever Fund license plate. It's a great fundraiser for a great cause.
All right, that's again Chris Melby here. We got Alex, we got Chase, and we're having a good time, as you can tell here at the Pivot. Hard not to have a good time at the Pivot Bar and Balcony, right across from the Cambridge Fieldhouse. How are things going for you with the Fever over there? I mean, really, the Pacers Sports Entertainment's got a nice dynamic working right now. Do they not?
I've been here, JMV. You and I have been friends for a long time. I've been here for almost 20 years now, and so I've seen some ups and downs on both the Pacers and Fever side. Right now, it's not a bad time to be me. The Fever are premier organization in the WNBA. We've got this gal named Caitlin Clark. Perhaps you've heard of her.
Yes, is she good?
She's not bad.
I've heard a little bit. Not too
and
much.
the whole team is amazing, from Aaliyah Boston to Lexi Hall to Sophie Cunningham, and all the way down the roster. Just a incredible group of ladies. But yeah, it's a really funny thing. Since Caitlin showed up in town a couple years ago, I've gotten way smarter at my job. My jokes are funnier and better looking.
Right.
I mean, it's
I wouldn't go that far.
No doubt about it. Well, that's you. That's you that's become better looking in this time. Me, all the weight that you're losing, I'm finding. But no, it's really, really a great time to be involved with Pacers Sports Entertainment. The Fever are amazing. Hopefully we can go win a chip this year. And that's the goal for the Pacers as well.
Did you say chip? Are you cool?
Hey, man, I've got young kids. I hear the lingo once in a while. I've got some teenagers in my house.
That's the first time anybody said chip on this show right here. I'm going to write that down.
I'm trying to, I'm trying to help you with the cool factor, JMV.
That is. What did you guys sell out every game for the Fever?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Honestly, the first year that Caitlin came, we didn't know how big of a rocket ship this was going to be, and we knew we'd sell out. We were pretty confident we'd sell at the local level, and then like a day later, it's like, okay, we're probably going to sell at the lower 2 levels, and I was like, okay, well, we're probably going to sell out all the levels of every single game. And that first year, we caught some flack because, a Joe fan that happened to be in Indianapolis and wanted to catch Caitlin at a game, well, I mean, you had to go to the secondary market. If you weren't a season ticket holder, we sold out of season tickets of every seat in the building that first year. So we responded to the marketplace of giving us a hard time and kept some of those seats open in the balcony. So if you're a fan, I haven't, it's going to be packed every night.
Yeah.
But if you think you can't get to a game, go to our website. Go to feverbasketball.com. Click on the tickets page. Sometimes you can find some tickets available in the balcony.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and that was really us responding to, just trying to make our games accessible to everybody we possibly
I was just referencing if one of the counselors had a question for Chris Melby right here.
Lord, I should have known JMV would put me on the spot like this. I was just coming over to see my guys.
I don't care. You're not going to come in here and drink a beer without me putting you on the spot. Let me tell you.
Well, here's what I'll tell you about my experience, and this is the first professional team that I've ever partnered with. I don't have any questions. And it's because every time I have a question, either Jessica or Chris are on it right away.
Usually
Jessica's right over there.
Yes.
Yeah, But it's him,
Right.
They're working together as a team. And it's just been a wonderful organization to work with. And frankly, I would recommend it to anyone else except for other personal injury law firms. Do not call Chris. But if you do anything else, give them a call. Absolutely.
Thank you for that plug.
I would ask you this, and Chris Melby is with us, and Alex and Chase here too of Hurst Lamontes joining us at Pivot. We're on the balcony bar here until obviously 6 o'clock, and the Fever game against Portland, the third of 4 in this 4-game homestand coming up later on tonight at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I think the ultimate show of just the force that Caitlin Clark and this team is right now is when you see road games. And you have to upgrade the venue because of road games. You have to add tickets. You have sellouts on the road. That, to me, is the ultimate show of oh, wow, the effect in this case right here, Chris.
It's really amazing what the Fever are doing for this league. And you're right, JMV. We had 22 road games last season, okay? 20 of those 22 road games were moved to a larger venue.
Yeah.
The Chicago Sky, for example, we played them twice in Chicago. Chicago Sky generally play in, I think it's like a 6,000-seat arena. Mm-hmm. Both of our games were moved to the United Center, 21,000-seat arena. Same thing in Atlanta, same place everywhere we go because everybody, the Fever, the marketing folks at the Fever came up with a slogan last year, the year before. And you'll see it on shirts. Every game is a home game. It's absolutely the case. And we were chatting about being able to get tickets for our actual home games here in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I mean, it's true. The Fever have become, it's like a global sporting event every time we have a game. So if you haven't had a chance to come see it, get down here and see it. It's incredible.
That's Melby right there. And again, you guys are working together for the Fever Fund, and obviously we're giving away tickets here. Explain how people could get involved, make a donation to the Fever Fund, Chris.
Yeah, and I know we're doing a few, our Alex and Chase are doing a few more of these with you. I'm just a sponsorship schlep. We're going to have some reps from the Pacers Foundation, the Fever Fund, coming over and help support one of these. Julie Rolock can tell this story a lot better than I can. Heck, Jess could tell the story a hell of a lot better than I can. I'm just the one that got handed the headset. But no, go to our website. There's all kinds of information on the Fever Fund, what we're doing. It's feverbasketball.com. You can look under the community tab. You can go to the BMV, ask them, get your license plate. Like I said, there's all kinds of different ways to get involved.
We can get Jessica on here sometime, too, if Jessica wants to get on.
I think we should. Come on.
I don't know. I think I talked to the hand kind of reference right there.
Seems like it. Well, I've got a face for radio, so maybe this makes sense. If you guys had a camera going, we would definitely want Jess, not me.
There you go. All right. So, pal, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Chris Melby right there.
Thanks,
Pacer Sports Entertainment with the Fever as well here on Night Like Tonight. Got Portland in town, and with Hurst and Lamontes with here. Chase and Alex as a part of this, too. We got tickets to give away for August, right, too, Alex?
We do. Yep, 2 tickets. Center court, best view in the house, I like to say, because they're my seats. But, I mean, you can see everything.
They're your personal seats.
Oh,
yeah,
they're
really?
my seats.
Well,
yeah.
hell, all right then. All you got to do is get signed up right over here with Chris Hammer,
Absolutely.
our guy right there. All right, so are you guys, Alex, Chase, you guys going to the 500?
I'm not.
Or you got to take care of kids or some other lame-ass excuse you've already handed out?
Little kids.
today already?
They're 4 and 6. I don't know if they can handle it yet.
Talking about a router saw off the air and stuff. What the hell are we doing here, man? Miter saw.
Yeah.
Not a router, but a miter.
Yeah.
So what? You just go to work and go home and saw stuff, or what happens?
Yeah.
That's all you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like home improvement guy over there, Tim Allen. No, but seriously, 500 for you as well. You're going to go, and you used to sit in a suite, but for the first time a year ago, you actually sat in the stands. This crew?
I have sat in a suite.
Yeah, okay, I got
Now, my original 500 experience is in the infield.
Okay.
As it should be.
Yeah, it should be. That's how you grow up right there.
As
man.
it should
be.
be.
You grow up and mature. You get all grown up in the infield.
Yes.
Back in the day.
But I will tell you a story about, HT back there and him driving that golf cart around. The Cadillac golf cart.
Oh, yeah.
At the
I
track.
know. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And if you were a young woman, maybe between the age of 20 to 30, you were guaranteed a ride in that Cadillac golf cart wherever you needed to go. He's not even listening to me.
No, he is not. Is it true? Did he come up with the term "best of all"? It's a Cadillac, or is that a lie?
I think that's a lie. I don't know if he actually came up with that.
I think he told me that he did once upon a time. I think I bought everything regarding that. That was the tagline that he said he came up with.
The race, man, what an experience, dude. Seriously. And if you're not even out there for the race, go to Carb Day. Go to a qualifying day. I mean, take your kids. It's just a wonderful, wonderful time, man.
Favorite driver out there? Anybody? Chase, favorite driver?
I don't follow it a ton. I wish I did.
Man, Chase, what are you doing?
Racing's not my thing. You ask me about basketball or football or baseball.
Well, what's your thing? Give me.
I'm a big football guy, so I'm a Steelers fan. Thank you, Indy, for Michael Pittman.
Great. Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers, you're going to retire
Honestly, I'm
after
not
this
super
year.
happy about Aaron Rodgers.
Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, you're going to stir the echoes in Pittsburgh,
Yeah,
right?
we're going to do the same thing from 15 years ago.
The one thing that Pittsburgh has, this season especially, is they've always been able to sing a lullaby to the Colts. And with the start of that schedule this season, week 5, I think, is the matchup with the Colts this year. That's dangerous territory right there, considering the first 4 weeks of the season, the Colts schedule they have.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go up to that game. But Pittsburgh has the opposite side on the back end. They've got 6 really tough games in the season.
Yeah, the Colts start the season in incredibly tough fashion against 4 good quarterbacks, and then week 5 they get Aaron Rodgers' his old ass. So,
if they can rush the quarterback, they might win that game.
Well,
he can't move.
And when you think about it, last year though, Chase, the Steelers were the ones I think at their home. They're the ones that kind of set the stage for the Colts, and obviously injuries played that significant role, but that was the first game where Daniel Jones didn't look like Daniel Jones, and the Colts offense didn't look like the Colts offense. That really was kind of the primer for what was the rest of the season. But we started talking about injuries, and that's what really undid everything.
I mean, you can't survive injuries, especially not to your quarterback.
All right, Steeler guy, huh?
Yeah,
man,
lifelong.
Man. You got a Steeler guy that used to clerk for you right there.
Well, I didn't know he was until after I hired him.
How do you hire a guy like that?
Hey,
he didn't tell you? He just said he was a Colts guy before.
I know he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you. So I grew up a Cowboys fan. Yes, even worse, right? I know.
Way worse.
You did.
Yes, I did. I was forced into
Why
it.
are you guys such front runners?
I don't know.
No, I mean, Cowboys and Steelers going all the way back in our era, you were considered a front runner. Now, again, not you, Chase, but Alex, we grew up at a time when the Colts weren't here yet. So you had to designate, and you had the Steelers with their success, you had the Cowboys with their success, and maybe you had some regional with the Bears. Maybe at the time it was the Cardinals of St. Louis, maybe it was the Bengals, but you didn't have the Colts in the era in which we grew up or we were a younger fan. So it was a lot different.
Oh, absolutely. But I will say, growing up in the 90s as a Cowboys fan, that was a great time. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, now, so you weren't a Cowboys fan going back to the Roger Staubach era.
No, I became a Cowboys fan. So I was born in 1980. Became a Cowboys fan about 1986, 87. And the first season I remember was they were 1-15.
That's when Tom Landry got fired for losing to the Bears 44-0.
Yeah,
remember in the '85 season. So
exactly.
And then the Bears go on and win the Super Bowl championship at Super Bowl 20 right there. You guys going to hang around a little bit more?
Oh yeah,
as long as you'll have us.
239-1070. I did want to get to this, James. Is Jersey J still on hold? I don't want to keep him on hold any longer before we hit a break. 239-1070. Hey, Jay, you're on the show. How are you, sir? Jay, are you there? James, I think Jay is gone. Jay, thank you. Man, my bad. I let Jay hang on hold there for a little bit too long. We'll hit a break and we'll come back. Again, we're at Pivot Bar and Balcony with Hurst Lamontes. And we're here giving away tickets to the Liberty game that is in August, the Liberty and the Fever right here. And we're talking center court tickets for you. The Fever in Portland later on tonight, the third of 4 consecutive here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The other one coming up against Golden State, that is on Friday night. We've also talked a little bit of racing earlier today with both Will Power and Ryan Hunter-Ray. Both are former champions. Both, if you missed them, Andretti Global and Errol McLaren, outstanding conversations for the present and for the past. Really good stuff. Podcast 1075thefan.com. Tony East also a little bit earlier. Kevin Bowen a little bit earlier. I'll explain to you Carb Day, and I know right now you're kind of looking at the whole forecast. Don't worry about that. We're all going to be good for Carb Day. JMV Takeover, the All Request Saturday night, is going to be good as well with our Bronze Fun Time camper. I'll explain that to you coming up. Get you set for tomorrow with a couple of hours without me. Explanation forthcoming. Stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. Do not go anywhere. We got to get you updated on that weather, and here's your update courtesy of Fox 59. Hey, the best in plumbing, Lance, local team, LD Smith Plumbing and Drains at 317-927-7186. Why? Because simply put, they're the best. And, you know, logically speaking, more times than not, when you call upon the greatness of LD Smith Plumbing and Drains, it is something you got to deal with right then and right now. That's when they are the absolute best. And you know this as well to be true. You know that this time of year, as we've seen, you get a lot of saturation, a lot of rainfall. Make sure your sump pump and your battery backup is working accordingly, doing the work that it should. 317-927-7186. Call Lance and his local team. And if you need that help, you're going to find great deals and great prices with LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. 317-927-7186. That's online, ldsmithplumbing.com. Yeah, I have good news, too. He is back. He is back after retirement. He is Joe Childers back helping you out at Express Pro Tire and Auto and the locations here in central Indiana. Believe me, it starts with Joe and then everybody else. You're going to get the trickle-down effect of greatness because that's what they're going to do for your car, truck, or van, whatever you need, from tires to brakes to brake pads. anything mechanically speaking. They can also make sure that your vehicle is good to go for those summertime road trips that are certainly going to happen with Express Pro Tire and Auto. You're thinking about the month of May. You're thinking about speed. You're thinking about focus. You're thinking about dedication. It is all there with Joe and my friends at Express Pro Tire and Auto. Take your car, truck, or van no place else to make sure you're good to go for the present and then for the summertime and the future. That's expresspro.com for details today.
The Ride with JMV.
Fill in the blank with one word, blank nuts.
These. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Pivot Bar and Balcony with Hurst and Lamontes and the Fever before the Fever take on Portland later on tonight. Thanks to Melby and Jessica right there for stopping by. Alex and Chase rejoin in a second. Reds a winner this afternoon, James. 9-4 was the final over the Phillies. Reds pound out 15 hits in that win over Philadelphia. All right, I got another gas card here. $50 gas card that is courtesy of Hurst Lamontes. They're giving those out today. You want to go number 30 on the text line at 317-239-1070. Number 30 for that $50 gas card courtesy of Hurst Lamontes and Alex and Chase and the gang. Awesome. Number 30 on that text line, 317-239-1070. As we talked about a little bit earlier, the Cavaliers outscored down the stretch. The final 12:52 of regulation and overtime. You ready? 44-11 by the Knicks. Knicks one up, best of 7 Eastern Conference Finals with a 115-104 overtime win over the Cavaliers as the Cavaliers gagged it away. and their head coach, Kenny Atkinson, did not surround himself in glorious coaching, given how that all happened. And if you watched it, I mean, we like to make fun of James Harden a great deal. He is a brutal watch most of the time, but come on, man. You saw how that went down, and it was brutal. So the Cavaliers blow that, down to game that best of 7. Meantime, game number 2 after the Spurs win in double overtime in game 1 in OKC. Those same two teams later on tonight. That is at 8:30 in OKC. Is it a must-win situation for OKC? A lot of people believe that to be. Again, that's tonight, 8:30 in Oklahoma City, game 2 out west, and the Spurs and the Thunder. Golden Knights and Avalanche. So Stanley Cup playoffs, the West Finals. That is game 1 tonight in Denver between those two. That is at 8 o'clock. Game 1 with the Habs. That is the Montreal Canadiens and Carolina coming up tomorrow night. But out west, game number 1 is tonight with the Golden Knights and the Avalanche. They drop the puck tonight in Colorado, coming up at 8 o'clock. Meantime, Alex rejoins from Hurst and Lamontes. We're giving away guest cards, which is fantastic, and we have another guest here. Alex, who we got?
We do have another guest, and I'm going to introduce this gentleman. Excellent lawyer, excellent trial lawyer, someone who's become a friend of the firm over the last few years, and probably one of the most famous lawyers. And he won't agree. He's shaking his head now.
His head right now, saying no.
Yeah. Who had the pleasure of, in his many years in his career, of working on the Delphi case. Mm-hmm. And this is attorney Andy Baldwin. I'm sure you heard about that Delphi case.
Hello, Andy. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. How we done now? We all know one another now. How long have you been a trial lawyer?
I'm in my 32nd year.
32nd year. Is that what you set out to do? Or did it just
I cannot
happen?
believe it's lasted this long.
Because of your smarts real good.
It's just survival mode, man. I mean, you just are always scrapping and fighting, and it's tough for defense lawyers, criminal defense lawyers. The system is it tries to be fair, but it really pushes against the criminal defense attorney. In my opinion, we're up against it. So
I'll have to learn a lot about this too. I just don't know a great deal. And the only thing I know is, as I mentioned, I've just seen it fictitiously and
right.
film and in TV. That's about it. So how close to original is film and TV compared to what you guys do?
Some movies are better than others. Yeah. Like A Few Good Men is kind of one of the gold standards for criminal defense attorneys. We quote that quite often.
Do you really?
Yeah, and I absolutely. And I think the courtroom scenes are very, very good. I don't know what you think, Alex.
I agree.
Yeah, but
so that's pretty close to what actually happens in there.
Yeah, I think so.
So I always wanted to ask this. So the scene with Kevin Bacon, where he's got the book, the manual, and can you where the mess hall is? Well, how do you find it if it's not as this manual? Have you guys ever done pulled a move like that in the courtroom?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what is the cross exam is like the hallmark of that gets you super excited, and a lot of lawyers don't realize that you have to listen, and you can only pull a maneuver off like that when you are actually listening to the answers. You can't really script that. It's not. I mean, you can, but it usually doesn't work out. So, yeah, I mean, some of the best, in the Delphi case, for example, the lead detective, his name's Jerry Holman. He had, at the very end of his direct exam, he had said, "Oh, I felt that the defendant Rick Allen was lying because he was looking down. He was looking down, and that's one of the hallmarks of somebody that's lying." Well, it happened to be that Jerry Holman, the detective there, had been looking down quite often during his testimony. So the first question that I asked when I got up is, Detective Holman, I noticed that you have been looking down quite a bit during the course of your direct examination. Does that mean that you've been deceptive? Because that's what he had said, that Rick Allen had been deceptive. I said, so does that mean that you've been deceptive? And it's like, that was a nice way to start, but you couldn't do that unless you were listening to his answers.
So you guys analyze mannerisms and such too, right? Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
because I look down all the time, and I'm the most truthful dude you've ever met.
Well, I didn't agree with I didn't agree with him, and that was one of the points is how ridiculous his assertion was, and it was ridiculous.
Wow.
So yeah,
well, Interestingly enough, right there it is. Hey, one more time, Alex, too. Explain to people while we're here, we're giving away Fever tickets and such, and you guys are partners, and you have been with the Fever, and you are right now, and we're having a great time here at Pivot. Explain why.
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, I've got about a dozen lawyers in this room. We're talking about Pat Sullivan.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Pat? Pat would be so puckered up right now with this many lawyers in this room.
He might be puckered up for this. Yeah, you might be right about that.
But
is this like the most lawyers ever in a room?
No. I can get more lawyers in a room.
No. I mean, like a social. This is like a social gathering before a game.
Well, we have large events with 400 or 500 lawyers that come to them. We're all pretty normal people, like to have a beer, like to have a good time, and frankly, like to support the community like the Fever Fund. So I'm going to transition into that a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about that because I think it's important for folks to understand that we're here to support them, to support the leadership programs, career readiness programs, the confidence that they build in these young women. I'll tell you what, my two daughters, watching them at a Fever game, nothing brings me more joy than to see their faces light up during the games. And so we're here, like I said, supporting the Fever Fund. We're giving away gas cards. We're all feeling the pinch of higher gas prices. You've got those. You're going to be giving those away online. We've got tickets.
I've got some. We've given away 3 already.
Perfect.
Online, and we've got more to do that as well. It is interesting just the type of interest that the Fever have stirred.
Yeah, man. Yes.
In the last 2 years, and really how far they got last year when they were so compromised due to injury too.
Yeah, so, I mean, you saw them go to the last game.
Yeah,
I mean that was amazing to watch them play like that and get that far in the playoffs.
Were you a big women's basketball or a Fever basketball fan prior to Caitlin Clark?
I will freely admit, I would not. I would say yes. Prior to Caitlin Clark, yes, but because I had partnered with the Fever prior to Caitlin Clark,
right?
Yes, but it really you can see the energy, the development, and the explosion. Since she's become a part of this team.
It's funny. I bring this up all the time, and I'm not trying to compare one or the other because certainly Magic and Bird was, incredible and helped define the NBA that we know today. But when you think about it, Caitlin Clark has a lot of the aspects of interest that she brought to the game and a different set of dynamics oftentimes, but most of the time on the floor itself. Much like those circumstances of 79. You remember 79, you go into the NBA, 79-80 and all that. There are a lot of the same characteristics that she has brought interest-wise to what we compare that to with Magic and Bird. When you had the NBA itself, the interest is waning, and then all of a sudden it had a spark. And we've seen a similar spark right here.
Absolutely. I mean, look at their salaries. Compared to what it was before her, I mean, you've got Kelsey Mitchell making $1.4 something million a year. Aaliyah Boston is one of the highest paid players in the league. The league is starting to see and recognize how much people appreciate and love the sport, regardless of whether it's men playing or women playing. And so I love seeing this. I love seeing the growth. And I'm here for it, man. I'll be here for a while longer, too.
Yeah, it sounds like it, Debbie. You've turned into a big fan yourself as well.
I'm too busy prepping for trials. So Alex invites us every year to this, and
Are you a sports guy right here?
I am. I know who you are. I mean,
Barely.
JMV, baby. Yeah, I know who you are. I know what's going on with you.
That wasn't because you observed them telling you that before you came on the show.
No. I Mark Patrick and,
MPOS reference right there.
Yeah, man.
Well done.
I'm a Brownsburg guy, too, so I knew him
sense.
from back in the day.
Here's the other thing you guys have to recognize. Now that we're together, you guys got to have my back, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's got to have my back because guy right here may need somebody having his back one of these days. All right, so you never know.
I will give you a 5% discount.
Wow, 5% discount.
A whole 5%.
All right. That sounds great. Man, you guys are fantastic. I appreciate it. We'll do it a final time. Great to meet you, Pat.
Hey, great to meet you. Thank
Mark
you.
Patrick, MPOS reference right there. That was a great time. I will always say this about Mark. There was nobody ever more talented at what he did in this market, certainly, than Mark Patrick. And I mean, on the radio, doing TV, from that to Wish to what he did at the lottery. He was a jack of all trades, but not just doing it because he did it. He did it because he was great at it. And I don't know if there's ever going to be anybody like that.
No, I think, honestly, and I'm not trying to butter you up here, but I think you've come along,
Well, and I play. I'm kind of a little jackass-ish here. So he was just so buttoned up and he was professional.
Yeah.
And he would slide into, you think about that, and then, Bob and Tom, he would do the great Bob and Tom bits as well. The versatility of which we will never see from anybody like that again.
Well, I'm glad we got a chance to talk to him about
I appreciate
that. Great to see you, JMV. Take care.
I appreciate that. All right. Quick break. We'll come back for a final time. You guys,
Yes.
All right, we'll hang with Alex. So we'll take a quick break, come back for a final time. Don't go anywhere. Stream the app, HD Radio. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. Smashing Pumpkins at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in October to support 30 years of the album Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. We'll do that. Chris Hagan's in for me for a while tomorrow. I'll explain that and more coming up next. Stream the app, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, bullseyeeventgroup.com and the Colts VIP tailgate. Speaking of game day, the game day experience cannot be the best it can be without Bullseye. The Colts pregame show, it is awesome. You're going to love the Colts pregame tailgate function and tickets to the game. You can combo that up at bullseyeeventgroup.com and get the absolute most out of your game day experience. All you can eat, all you can drink. You've got all that working with bullseyeeventgroup.com before the Colts game and then tickets to the game itself. So feel free to cherry pick those games and combo that up with the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration with bullseyeeventgroup.com. Hey, log on and make sure you're a part of that. Do it today with bullseyeeventgroup.com. Hey, John here. Turning your yard into a place that you love with the help from Sundown Gardens in Westfield and Miss M's Home and Garden in Bargersville. With new plants, trees, and shrubs coming in daily, you'll find everything that you need to create your dream outdoor living space, and they are stocked with bedding flats, hanging baskets, combo platters, lush tropicals, container trees, shrubs, and so much more. Sundown Gardens in Westfield, 186 in Spring Mill Road, and Miss M's Home and Garden, State Road 135, just south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville.
The Ride with JMV.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back to Pivot Bar Balcony. Hurst Lamontes with us today. We're both partnering with the Fever, as you can tell. We've got Smashing Pumpkins tickets. James, you want to do number 30 on this? Billy Corrigan and the Smashing Pumpkins. So they were celebrating, guys, the release 30 years ago of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Anybody know anything about the Pumpkins here? What do you got, Alex?
The CD. Do you remember when you could order from BMG Music the 1 cent CD?
Well, I
ordered those.
Indiana
dude.
State here, Terre Haute, Columbia House, brother.
Indiana State.
There you go. Look.
Another treat.
How did you become a lawyer going to Indiana State?
I really don't know.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Like
why
all the
they let me in.
lawyers were going to Rose-Hulman.
Yeah.
No, they weren't. They were engineers going over there. They were a bunch of nerds, though. You remember that? They'd all try to infiltrate our parties wearing their sweatpants and stuff, and I'd say, hey, go back to where you came from.
Went to a couple of their
engineers.
parties. Not so much fun.
No, I can't. Well, it's probably all dudes.
Yeah.
Because that's at the time when I was in Terre Haute, Rose-Hulman was nothing but dudes.
Yeah.
And that's why they wouldn't wash for a week and wore sweatpants. But
Yeah,
now
it's not
they make like millions more than I do. So yeah.
I will say we played Rose-Hulman. I went to Hanover.
You did, yeah.
We played Rose-Hulman in football. They were terrible.
Of course
Right.
they were.
They were
The
terrible.
engineers. Number 30, by the way, Smashing Pumpkins, you had Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness on CD, correct, Alex?
Absolutely, yeah.
My favorite was Siamese Dream, a little bit earlier than that, but it was all good. Number 30 is going to go. That's at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in October. Number 30 on the text line at 317-239-1070. I'm getting a lot of people saying, man, get off of Rose-Hulman a little bit. Hey, listen, you guys all won, okay? Look at me right now. You guys all won. Hey, I will say this in the program. When was this program?
This was Indy Mystics, and then Sunday's game.
This has you strategically placed. It is Hurst Lamontes right next to Caitlin Clark.
Right there, right next to her.
I would advise you out front looking like you're ready to just kick the crap out of somebody. It looks like Mr. Rourke and Tattoo from Fantasy Island right there. We're going to have to get Chase a little bit of a platform or something.
Yeah, I got
Can you
to talk
stand
to our
on a
media
shoebox
guy.
or something?
Yeah, I mean I'm a small guy, but I'm not that small.
Are you going to go up the stairs and ring the bell or something in a second? Are you?
I'd have to run upstairs to reach the bell.
That is awesome right there. No, that is nicely strategically placed.
We got lucky. We got good luck on that one. So.
Wow. All right, so later on tonight against Portland, and again, we're still, while time remains, we're having people sign up for tickets. These are your center court tickets to a future game. That's the New York Liberty in August, correct?
New York Liberty game in August, 14th row, right there. I mean, you can't miss anything. You will not miss anything. You'll see it all. It'll be a wonderful time. It's in the Sire Spirits section, too. They have a really cool bar, bar restaurant area right underneath the stands there that you can't miss. And it's only for that section.
Right.
So when you walk in there, they're going to give you a special wristband.
Yep.
And only people in that section can go downstairs. And also, if you bring your kids, free sodas. Free soda refills.
You know, I didn't know that. And the first time I used our seats, I didn't realize we had access to that lounge.
Oh, yeah.
And the second time I went, oh, man, I wish I had known this was
So
here.
I just get at 317-239-1070, I get a message from a Logan. You know about a Logan, Chase?
What's his last name? Is it
We
Sager?
didn't have the last name right here, but here's how it reads.
Let's see it.
JMV, I roomed with Chase for multiple years at ISU. What kind of dirt do you want on him?
No, we don't Logan.
Like all
Logan, we don't
of it
need any of
right
that.
Like it all right here is what we need.
No,
is there a lot
we
of dirt? Is there a lot of Terre Haute dirt on you?
You know, we were all in college once.
Man, I got a lot of ugly stuff going on over there. I just didn't know you guys back in the day, or you guys could have got me out of all that crap. So I appreciate that. No, seriously, this has been awesome. And I should mention that we have future dates just like this, correct?
We do. We've got dates in July. We're working on the mid-July date. Hopefully it'll be July 17th if we can make it work. We've got dates in August. We've got September dates. And we'll have another one. Hopefully we can squeeze one in here in June. That'll be a wonderful time. Yeah,
you guys are awesome to hang out with.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, and here's what's great. A lot of people think that people in your line of work are a bit tight-assed.
Right.
But you're not.
No.
You're not at all. You're cool as hell. And I appreciate that because we like to have a lot of fun on here. That's what it's all about.
Awesome.
Now, when it's business time, it's business time. Yeah. But this is certainly fun time. But thanks for everything here.
Yeah.
It is. And James, I've got another gas card. Another gas card, courtesy of Hurst and Lamontes right here. Number 30 on the text line, 317-239-1070. I have another gas card for you, 317-239-1070. A $50 gas card, courtesy of Hurst and Lamontes. It's been fun as hell. Thank you guys for doing this today, guys. Both Alex and Chase.
Thank you for having us. It's been wonderful.
Absolutely awesome. And I will see. Am I going to see you at the race on Sunday morning? Yeah,
you might see me floating around.
I go to Plaza. I'll be there. We start at 6 a.m. That's 6 a.m., 6 until 11. Me and Tony Katz, in fact, will lead you with a cast of thousands up to the 110th running of the greatest spectacle in racing. You guys got to get to the game in a little bit too, don't you?
Yep. Game tip-off's in about an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We've got a suite tonight. We got a suite full of food and some beers and some high noons in there, and it's going to be a great time.
High noon, hard seltzer, double shot power. The JMV takeover on Saturday night. Bronze Fun Time Camper. Alex, thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Appreciate that. Chase, thank you, pal.
Thank you, John.
We'll get more dirt on Chase from Logan here at a later day.
Hey, that goes both ways.
Thank you, Chris Hanger. Hey, Chris Hammer, thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Dev, great job out of you. James back at the studio with Ryan Hunter-Ray, with Will Power, with Tony East, and with Kevin Bowen. The podcast at 1075thefan.com. Chris Hagan for the first 2 hours tomorrow. I'll get there. I got to take G to the doctor down in Bloomington tomorrow. I'll be there in time to talk to Ed Carpenter on the show coming up tomorrow. Ed Carpenter. And then the special carb day, 10 until noon with me and Hammer and Nigel. My show, 3 until 6 on Friday, Pagoda Plaza. More on that tomorrow. You guys enjoy the Fever on 93 WIBC. All the racing coverage and more coming up here. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Have a great night.